And we welcome you to Paul, to West Point, Mississippi, on the campus of West Point High School, as we are getting set for action tonight between the West Point bunch here, as well as the Houston Hilltoppers, as West Point Green Wave, and the Houston Hilltoppers, as Houston has won the toss and is elected to receive, will be on offense first to begin this football game. Paul, a Class 4A matchup against a Class 3A matchup. It ought to be an interesting matchup here tonight from West Point, Mississippi.
Should very well be, Patrick. Of course, West Point, a football program that has been very rich, a very storied tradition here at West Point High School over the past, I guess probably the last 20 years, Patrick, and their classification have been one of the stronger football programs in the northeast part of the state of Mississippi, but kind of have fallen on hard times somewhat the last 3, 4, 5 years, and but nonetheless should be quite a challenge here tonight for the Hilltoppers.
As we said a few moments ago, Houston will have the football first. Decatur Robinson will be set to kick off for West Point, and we're just about underway here to begin football action here tonight in the second week of the season in high school football action. Of course, Houston, a winner last week, is 1-0 in the early part of the season here, Paul, in football action and high school action.
And West Point dropped a decision last week to Columbus. The Columbus Falcons defeating West Point last week, Patrick, and we're underway.
Robinson will step forward and will kick it deep. And for Houston will be Marco Robinson trying to set up a seam in the middle of the field. He does. He's over the 40 up to along the 41-yard line. Nice return from Marco Robinson and a good start for the Houston Hilltoppers.
Good job that time, Patrick, by Robinson of finding a little bit of a seam, and then a pretty good job of breaking a couple of tackles and having an opportunity to expand and giving a good chance for Houston to start in very, very good field position at their own 39-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Probably very important for the Hilltoppers, Pat, to get off to a very, very nice early start here. If they could probably put some points on the scoreboard and put a little pressure on the Green Wave defense.
McCullough will have one back in the backfield behind him, of course, as he will call out his signals from that point, as it'll be 1st and 10 for Houston from their own 39-yard line, as he'll give it to the long back in the backfield. He's going to be pushed back and driven back to along the 37-yard line, forward progress, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. I believe that it was, like Paul, Marco Robinson on the carry. Very minimal gain on the play. It'll be second down. We'll call it 12. A loss of 2, actually. Second down and 12 for Houston.
Everything. Good job by the defensive line from West Point of just bottling everything up from the at the point of attack that time and just knocking. I think it was Harrell who may have been the ball carrier down to the earth right around the 38-yard line. No appreciable gain. Probably a loss of 1 on the play.
Again, as McCullough will roll to his right, looking upfield, now throws in the flats. His pass is complete to his receiver. With the reception was Rod Holman. Holman will find first down yardage in West Point territory inside the 20, inside the 50, down along the 49-yard line. And a first down of the football game for the Houston Hilltoppers.
Good job that time by the interior line. Protecting McCullough, Patrick, gave him an opportunity to find a passing lane to throw the football. And the pass was completed to Holman. Holman did a good job of getting the football across midfield. Good 12-yard pickup and a quick first down.
Near side receiver Scott Gann, as McCullough will have the long back in the backfield behind him with the wings to both left and right, as McCullough will give to Robinson, trying to get across midfield over the 45 inside the 43. Nice pickup of 6 yards on the play. Will bring up second down and 4 after the gain of 6 on the carry from Robinson.
Good job that time, Patrick, by Robinson, as he made a really nice little cutback somewhere around the midfield stripe. Made a couple people miss. Did a good job of picking up positive yardage as he got down inside the 45 to around the 43. Bring up a second down and around 3.5, 4 yards to go. Nice job that time of running the football by Robinson.
As McCullough will have his team in motion at that point, 10.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter of play. As once again, he will give it to his up man, big hole over the 35 inside the 33-yard line on the carry. Tyrell Harrell, and Harrell is going to have a nice pickup of some 10 yards, actually a gain of 11 on the play, and another first down. The second first down registered in the football game on this drive for the Hilltoppers. It'll be 1st and 10 Hilltoppers from the West Point 31.
Good job again by good execution by the offensive line of finding a nice hole for Harrell to run through, Patrick, and Harold did a good job with a little explosion that time as he got in the secondary. Good pickup, first down and 10. Move the chains, pick up first downs. I'm sure that's what Coach Funk and his staff would like to continue to keep doing.
Again, it's going to be McCullough. They're going to be Harold again. A nice hole over the 25 down to the 24. Nice job of picking his way over that point is Harold. And again, another positive effort on first down, a gain of 6. Will bring up 2nd down and 4 once again for the Hilltoppers.
Nice opening drive by the Hilltoppers, Patrick. They're picking up chunks of real estate and advancing the football down the field, doing quite a fine job. Patrick through the airways with a nice completion to Holman a couple minutes ago, and Harold has been very impressive running the football on the inside.
Scott Gann in with the play for McCullough, as McCullough will have his team in motion at that point. 2nd and 4 from the 25, we'll call it the 24-yard line of West Point, as he'll throw it here in the flats, and the pass intended for Gann, in and out of his hands, incomplete. Will bring up 3rd down and 4. Like he tried to run upfield before he was able to gather the ball in his hands, and it falls incomplete, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 4. Third down, 4 yards to go for the Hilltoppers, as we have just a shade over 9 minutes remaining here in the first quarter of play. The Hilltoppers threatening here on their first initial possession here of the football game.
Possession play here for the Hilltoppers, Patrick, and a big first down.
Same formation again behind McCullough, as he'll have the long back, as it's going to be Harold. He's going to have the carry. He's going to have the first down. He's over the 20, inside the 20, down to along the 16-yard line. A pickup of 7 on the play, and another first down, as Harold will find the first down along the 17-yard line. And again, big play by the Hilltoppers on offense.
And a good job, Patrick, on the forward wall that time. Like Caleb Chandler, Patrick, the tight end, did a good job of finding a little seam for him to run the football through. And Patrick, I believe the West Point Greenway defensive football team want to talk about.
Timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. Toppers from the West Point 16-yard line, as we have 9 minutes and a second remaining, as McCullough will drop straight back. Look up, he's got his receiver open, and it's going to be caught in the end zone, as on the reception is going to be Rod Holman. 16-yard touchdown pass from McCullough to Holman, and the Hilltoppers have drawn first blood 6-0. 8 minutes, 54 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
Bill, I really like the play call that time. Super job that time by McCullough, Patrick, with a little play action. Froze the linebackers, allowed Holman to get in the secondary deep on the safety, Patrick, and really the ball was thrown where it had to be thrown, right on the 2-4. And Patrick, very quickly, the Hilltoppers have drawn first blood, lead 6-0. 8 minutes, 54 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
As John Horn will attempt the extra point, his kick is on its way, it's up, and it is off to the right, no good. Houston 6 and West Point nothing. Paul, if you guys can, we'd like to go down this sponsor list of these folks here that along Houston, Mississippi, that are bringing high school football action to you. And we're going to go down through these sponsors right quickly, if you could.
Yeah, guys, let us mention Union Planters Bank in Houston, a proud sponsor with 2 branches to serve you. Also, Griffin Motor Company, Highway 15 North. Go by and see all the staff at Griffin Motor Company in Houston, a proud sponsor of Houston High School football. Pylon Wholesale Furniture, between Houston and Vardaman at Pylon Wholesale Furniture. Wholesale prices, Pylon Wholesale Furniture. See the Faulkners today. Classic Exteriors Vinyl Siding. Give Gene King a call. Classic Exteriors Vinyl Siding, a proud sponsor here for Houston today at Classic Exteriors for all of your vinyl siding needs. Gene King. King's Tire, Reggie Callahan, owner. Proud to be a part of the game here tonight. King's Tire Service, located there on the square in Houston. Go by and see Reggie and all the staff at King's Tire Service and tell them we sent you by from TV7. TV 34. Proud to be a part of the Houston Hilltoppers from King's Tire. All types of tires available, complete installation from Reggie and staff. And Patrick, almost a little late getting started, but we did get going just in time to see a great drive by the Hilltoppers.
Very methodical and very good opening drive for Houston as they get points on the board. Very impressive in that with their first time with the football, as Horn will kick the football deep, as he'll have for West Point will be Tyria Young, as it will actually be at that point it will be Young. Young will gather it around the 30, and he's going to be nailed. I mean, actually, he's going to gather around the 10. He's going to get up back to along the 19-yard line. Good coverage right there by Houston on special teams, and the West Point Greenway will start off 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Good coverage there on special teams.
Yeah, very aggressive, very quick coverage. That's what you want to see. Get down here and get a good drive and get a touchdown and come right back with your special teams, Patrick, and make a big play. And I know that has to satisfy Coach Funk.
Brent Walker will bring his club up to the line of scrimmage, a big 6'4" guy that's around 200 pounds playing quarterback. Look across, there's some size on that offense for West Point as they give it on the end around to the back over the wing, James Shelton. And Shelton might find a yard or two up to along the 22. We'll call it a gain of 1. We'll bring up 2nd down and 9 for the West Point Green Wave from that point. Good lateral pursuit defensively from the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, very quick on their feet, doing a great job, and you got to like the aggressive pursuit by the defense for Houston. And the Hilltoppers really coming out here, starting things off strong here on the road at West Point.
As the Green Wave will split 2 receivers to the left, and we have a timeout on the field called by Houston. We'll return after these messages. Second down and 9 for the Hilltoppers as again they'll give it to the long back in the backfield again as it's going to be on the carry for the Green Wave. Going to be James Shelton. He's going to be met in the backfield and dropped. A loss of a couple on the play, look like coming up to make the stop defensively for the Hilltoppers. Look like it might have been Caleb Chandler making the play defensively for the Hilltoppers. Will bring up 3rd down and 13 yards to go. And I think, Bill, I may have just called them the Bruce Trojans. I got Bruce on my mind. I'm sorry about that for the Hilltopper fans. And now we've got, again, timeout on the field. Look like the officials have called timeout. And now they're going to signal play in again as I think one of the players from West Point lost some equipment. As it'll be 3rd down and 13 for Brent Walker and his offensive unit as he'll split Robinson wide to the left. Actually, he'll have trips to the left. He'll have a single receiver to the right. The long back in the backfield as they spread it out right here. As now we've got movement. Now looks like the receiver in the slot for the Green Wave, Rico Collins, is going to move prematurely. Will cost the Green Wave 5. We'll bring up 3rd down and 18 after the illegal procedure penalty yardage is marked off against West Point. Interesting formation right there, Bill. They had trips to the left and one single receiver to the right. Had the receiver look like to the right by himself, and the receiver in the slot moved early like they were setting up a reverse the way he moved back to his right there. Again, same formation again, trips to the left, single receiver to the right as they'll have the long back in the backfield behind Walker. And Walker will give it to that long back on the delay, and he's got a big hole. He's over the 25 up to the 26. But he's going to be shy of the 1st down. Looks like he's going to come up some 3 or 4 yards shy of the 1st down. It's going to be a gain of 15 on the play. We'll call it a gain of 14. We'll bring up 4th down and 4 yards to go, though, as they needed 18. And the West Point Green Wave, as Walker will drop back to punt the football, will be forced to punt, Paul. And it looks like that the Hilltoppers are going to get this thing right back. As it looks like dropping back for Houston to receive the punt. As standing along the midfield stripe, Sean Ivey. Standing along the 40-yard line is Sean Ivey, anticipating the point punt from Brent Walker. And now we've got timeout from the officials again. And a legal procedure delay of the game, is being called against West Point, and that's going to cost him 5. Paul, I appreciate this water. You don't know how much Bill and I needed it.
Absolutely.
Guys, you don't know how hard I had to run back across here to get back in time. But it's extremely hot still, even at probably 7:45, 8 o'clock right now. It's still, guys, we need a little bit of a cool spell, don't we, Bill?
Absolutely. Makes you wish for October, huh?
As Walker will drop back, pretty good pursuit as the ball is snapped into the direction of the pursuit and gets a West Point bounce as it bounces inside the 50, inside to the 46-yard line. The Hilltoppers will have it 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line, leading 6-0 with 6 minutes and 7 seconds remaining here in the first quarter of play. Paul, Houston had a very, very impressive drive, their first possession of the game. And now we've got timeout on the field again.
The heat break.
And it's going to be the heat break, and we'll return after these messages. And 1st and 10 for the Hilltoppers as McCullough will have his team in motion from their own 46. It's going to be Robinson stand on his feet over the midfield stripe or right along the midfield stripe. Real good elusiveness right there, Paul. He eluded the would-be tackler there in the backfield and found some positive yards. Tell you what, almost busted that one. Good play, good job of running with the football by Robinson.
Good job of running the football again by Robinson. Patrick, of course, we don't get to do a lot of Houston football games. In fact, I did one last year, I think at Winona. But, Patrick, I can remember back about 4 years ago when Coach Funk first came here, we did a football game between them and Pontotoc, first game of the year. And He talked to us a lot then before the game started, and what a great turnaround he has made with this program. One of the really, truly good 3A schools in the state of Mississippi.
Absolutely, as it's going to be given to the long back on the carry for Houston. Look like over the midfield stripe to the 47. Look like it was Michael Griffin. Griffin's going to find 3 on the play. We'll call it 3rd down. We'll call it 3 yards to go for the first down. Actually, we'll call it 3rd and 4. We'll give him a gain of 2. Griffin running real hard between the tackles. As really like this wing, I guess you'd call it wing T formation, Paul. We're not very used to doing the Houston broadcast, but awfully good ball handling techniques by the quarterback. You got to have a guy that can handle the football. McCullough's awfully good with those ball fakes, and of course he's got guys who run the football behind him.
Super job, Patrick. A lot of misdirection in the offense, and quite frankly does a good job of running that formation, and it's very effective.
Robinson is alone, rolling the middle of the field to his right. Pass is going to be completed. It looked like this tight end, and it looked like actually it was the receiver Holman again on the reception for Houston. It's going to be good enough for a first down, but a flag flies in, and looks like it's going to be offsides against the actually illegal procedure, maybe whistled against the Houston Hilltoppers, and that's going to cost them the first down. And I'm sure, of course, West Point more than happy to take the penalty and take Houston back here and make them go on 3rd down again.
Indeed, Patrick, they will lose about 5 yards after the penalty, but again, Patrick, the ball was thrown a little bit behind Holman. He did a really good job of kind of reaching back to make the catch then. Unfortunately, there was a penalty that will nullify the nice gain that time by Holman after the nice pattern between him and McCullough, but we'll bring up probably around a third down 8, 3rd down 9. The possession play, Patrick, for the for Houston. A big play here for the West Point defense if they would have an opportunity to get the football back for their football team. Coach Allen, Patrick, in his 2nd year here at West Point. If you look out here, Patrick, all you do, you think about the tradition. And Patrick, you see 3 back-to-back state championship teams here when Coach Davis was here in 87, 88, and 89, and also in 82. It's out on their field house out here, Patrick. So this football program has always had great tradition, and I'm sure there's a lot of pride in this program.
Absolutely. Holman is in the slot as, again, McCullough will roll to his right. Now look upfield across the grain. He's got his receiver, Robinson, wide open. He's over the 30 inside the 27. Paul, I think another flag came in as well as the play progressed. We'll have to sort this one out. Nice little job right there, Paul, disguising the pattern right there and throwing back across his body. Robinson wide open, but it's going to be nullified again. Look like a hold. Going to be whistled against the Hilltoppers.
Unfortunately, Patrick, it will be a holding penalty that will nullify another first down play as McCullough has looked really sharp throwing the football. But unfortunately, like you said, Patrick, will be probably a 10-yard penalty as it will march the Hilltoppers back just a little bit more, and they will probably third down and really long now, probably 18, 19 yards to go for a first down.
3rd down, and we'll call it actually the line to make for the first down will be inside their own 45-yard line there, the Houston 44. So you're exactly right, Paul. They've got a good chunk of real estate. We'll call it 3rd down and 18. 3rd and 18 from right along their own 37-yard line as coming in with instructions for the quarterback for the Hilltoppers is Chris Brand. As Brand will give instructions to McCullough. He'll have twins to the right. He'll have wings, of course, both left and right as well. And now Holman now timeout is going to be asked for by McCullough.
Hey, guys, we'll go over some more sponsors here tonight, bringing you the action here from West Point on behalf of the Hilltoppers of Houston. And we appreciate all of our sponsors each and every week that are with us throughout the season, bringing us the action here. Custom Auto Accessories, Bell South, your Bell South provider for Houston. Carl Rogers, owner. Go by and see all the staff at Custom Auto Accessories on Highway 15 North in Houston. Tell them we sent you by for your latest Bell South hookup. Go by and see them today. A&A Electrical Supply, Walter and Pat Archer, another proud sponsor. A&A Electrical Supply in Houston for all of your electrical supply needs. Go by and see A&A Electrical Supply just off of the square in Houston. Tell Walter Archer you appreciate their support of the games. Home Discount Lumber and Supply, Don McCullough and staff, proud to be a part of the game here on TV7. Home Discount Lumber and Supply, providing you with full home furnishings, all types of lumber, kitchen sinks, bath sinks, a big warehouse full of lumber and home furnishings. Go by and see them today at Home Discount Lumber and Supply. Also, a full line of paints some of the best in paints at Home Discount Lumber and Supply. Quick Cash, Rhonda or Vicky, see them today. Quick Cash, located just out past Walmart in Houston. Quick Cash for all of your quick cash needs. I know we can all use that at times. Go by and see Rhonda and Vicky today at Quick Cash in Houston. All proud to sponsor the Hilltoppers here tonight.
As Griffin and Holman will split to the right. Actually, as Holman is a wing to the right, it's going to be Holman on the carry, and he's going to get up to along the 40-yard line. I don't know if the ball might have popped out momentarily, but it looks like that if it did, that the Hilltoppers might have recovered their own fumble. Looked like Caleb Chandler joining on the spot to do so, but it's going to force the Hilltoppers to punt the football. 4th down and 18 yards to go for the first down, and the West Point Green Wave is held.
Well, good job that time, Patrick, by the linebacker, Keith Fords. He did a good job, Patrick. 6 foot, 200-pound senior did a pretty good job of meeting him in the hole and knocking him to the earth at that point. So we'll bring up a 4th down play, and we'll make the Hilltoppers punt the football.
As Edwards will be getting the football, actually calling for a fair catch. And fortunately for him, now the ball might have actually been touched. No, actually I think he was able to get away. It's going to be down by Houston right around the 34 as Edwards. Nico Edwards was the receiver in reception formation for the Green Wave. He tried to call for a fair catch and couldn't get around his own man, I don't believe. But it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Green Wave at their own 34. Paul, notice on this roster, the quarterback, Brent Walker for West Point, 6'4", 200-pound youngster, big kid.
Big kid. Saw some highlights of them last week against Columbus, Patrick, and I think they're pretty high on the young man. He's a senior, but he's 6'4", 220 pounds. I think he's the leader of their football team. Along with they have a young man named Willie Gallard, 6 foot, 250-pound senior that my understanding is getting some attention from some of the recruiters around the state.
Walker rolls to his left. He's got his receiver open in the flats. It's complete right around the 43-yard line. On the reception is T.C. Harris. Harris will gather it in right along the 43. It will be a gain of 9, and it will bring up 2nd down and 1, very close to the first down. Going to be shy of the first down by a yard.
And Walker did a nice job that time, Patrick, rolling to his left, and on a little out pattern did a good job of picking up Harris in the secondary. A nice 9-yard pickup will bring up a 2nd down and short from right around the 44-yard line.
Again, Robinson will be the near side receiver. They have trips to the left, the single receiver to the right, the long back in the backfield behind Walker. As he will give it to his long back and going to have the first down over the 45 to the 46-yard line. They spread the field nicely and run between the tackles and get the first down for the West Point Green Wave.
And making the stop was Jerome Lyons, Patrick, the sophomore defensive lineman, making the play for the Hilltoppers, but indeed was making the tackle in first down country. Nice first down pickup that time, Patrick, for the Green Wave.
And James Shelton, the tailback, gets the first down. First down of the football game registered for the Green Wave. As again, they'll have twins to the right. Now coming in motion from right to left is Collins. As Walker will set up, will throw it again across midfield. Again, it's going to be T.C. Harris catching his 2nd ball on this drive. Again, a gain of some 7 yards on the play will bring up 2nd down and 3 on the out. As West Point will move the football for the first time in the football game in Houston Hilltopper territory. Has it 2nd down and 3 from the 47.
And Chris Griffin, Patrick, was really in pretty good position at the cornerback for Houston, but just a pretty well thrown ball again that time by the quarterback Walker, as he found his receiver Harris in first down country.
Again, it's going to be Young on the carry. He's going to be met right along the line of scrimmage. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Good job. Looked like James Sims came up and actually Tyra Harrell came up and made the tackle defensively for the Hilltoppers.
Good job that time, actually, not in first down country a couple minutes ago, but probably for a 6 or 7 yard game. A good job that time by Harold Patrick filling the hole, making a nice play on the football. 3rd down and 3 possession play here for the Green Wave, as Coach Allen will send Walker back in the huddle with the play. We'll just have to wait and see what happens here, Pat.
For all intents and purposes, will be probably the last play of the quarter, unless an incomplete pass here, as it's 3rd down, 3 yards to go. As again, Collins will go in motion from left to right as Walker will throw the little look in. It's going to be caught by Robinson, still on his feet over the 35, down to the 31, and a first down for the Green Wave.
Well, good job that time, Patrick, as he was able to hit his receiver that time on the slant pattern, and good time in between the quarterback that time, Walker, and also Patrick Robinson, the receiver, making the play on the football, picking up a good first down. Patrick, that probably will be the last play of the first quarter.
That will bring to an end the first quarter of play. Houston leading 6-0 as West Point will line up. Probably will not snap the football, and indeed will bring to an end the first quarter of play. Houston 6, West Point nothing. Will return for the second quarter. And Walker will give to his fullback on the carry. Looked like for the carry for West Point, looked like it was Jonathan Moore. Not much doing there. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage, and we'll call it a minimal gain on the play.
Ran the belly series that time, Patrick, and kept the football, and the quarterback looked like wasn't able to find much real estate as he got the ball back over to around the 31-yard line. So we'll bring up second down and long from that point. Patrick, all our hearts go out to the Walnut High School family and the people in Tippah County, Mississippi. Patrick, what a tragic event that happened last night. And in Walnut, when the Coach Horton, the coach that's been there for a couple years, who recently was at Faulkner, tragically died on the sidelines at the football game. So all our heart, our prayers, and wishes go to that football program as well as the fans in Tippah County.
Absolutely, as it will be Young on the carry off left tackle. Actually, James Shelton, a nice pickup of some 8 yards on the play. We'll call it gain of 8. It'll be third down and maybe less than a yard for the first down. Paul, looks like they're just shy of the first down yardage needed. May have, indeed, they're 1 yard shy of the first down, so it'll be third down, less than a yard for the Green Wave.
It will bring up a third down and short, Patrick, and another possession play here. It's, I'm sure, probably not really a possession play. They're in 4-down country, I'm sure, unless they would be in a situation they would trot their field goal kicker on the field if they didn't make the first down. So, quite frankly, Patrick, a big play here for the Houston Hilltopper defense.
Shelton will be the tailback, is behind the fullback, Jonathan Moore. Walker now will pull up from his center, and now it looks like we're going to have a delay a game against West Point. Costly penalty by the Green Wave, going to cost him 5. Instead of having it third down and less than a yard, now third down and 6. As a big break for the Hilltoppers.
It is a big break for the Hilltoppers. We'll march them back 5 yards. Patrick, kind of a rivalry night of sorts in high school football across the northeast Mississippi area. Of course, next week for Houston will be their rivalry. I think they play Oklahoma next week. But Amory and Aberdeen are going at it. South, North, Pontotoc, a lot of football games play, kind of rivalry type weekend, if you want to say, in high school football of sorts.
Again, Walker will throw the screen, and the pass skips the earth. It's going to be incomplete to T.C. Harris. Bounced it to him as Harris did a good job of catching it like a shortstop right there, fielding the ground ball, but wasn't a lateral. Pretty much a pretty alert play by the young man, though, if it would have been ruled a lateral. But indeed, it's an incomplete pass. It will bring up 4th down and 6. And you would assume, for all intents and purposes, West Point will go for it.
You would think they would, Patrick. Not to be withstanding here, I'm sure they would probably go for the first down. Indeed, that's what Coach Allen and his staff have decided to do, but they have called a timeout before. No, they haven't. They are going to go for 4th down here, Patrick.
Indeed, as Jonathan Moore will be the long back in the backfield behind Walker, as he'll throw it upfield for his receiver, and the pass is going to be thrown up in the air and batted up in the air as it's intended for Robinson. And looked like they're on the coverage, Paul. I think it might have been Chris Brand. Not sure if it was, but good job of coverage right there by Brand, and knocks it away, and it's incomplete. Turns it over on downs, and the Trojans have held.
Brand
and the Hilltoppers have held.
Brand with a solid job that time, Patrick, on the coverage. The Hilltoppers, Patrick, with the defensive stop. Speaking of the Trojans, Patrick, Bruce, the other schools that we cover in our area tonight, doesn't get much bigger than of a rivalry than this. Calhoun City and Bruce are tangling tonight, which I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun. Bill, your old school, I guess they're hosting the game tonight. I think the game is actually at Bruce instead of at Calhoun City.
Yeah, Bruce hosting the game. Big rivalry. Everybody in the county out for that one.
And McCullough, actually the ball pops loose. Looks like that the Green Wave have recovered. I think maybe, Paul, the young man that just knocked the football down might have been on the carry. Actually, no, I think it was Antoine Harrell. I'm not sure. But needless to say, fumbles the football. And the Green Wave are going to get it right back at the spot they just turned it over on. And, Bill, as you mentioned a few moments ago, and I hope the Hilltopper fans forgive me, that is the second time I have called them that. When Paul went to get our water, I called them the Trojans a few moments ago. So, unfortunately, here as they turn it over on the turnover, and the Green Wave have the first break in the football game, as they'll have twins left and right, as Walker will drop straight back to throw it, throws it for Robinson again. And we've got contact. It's a good no call by the officials. Again, looked like for Houston on the carry, on the coverage, might have been Chris Brand. and it falls incomplete. We'll bring up second down and 10 as they try to run that little fade pattern again.
Same play as they ran a couple minutes ago, Patrick. Brand in good position once again to make the defensive stop. Patrick, other games going on tonight. Coldwater is at Vardaman. Vardaman is hosting that game. Probably one of the more intriguing matchups tonight, Patrick, is probably Corinth at Boonville in Class 2A. Should be a good football game. Should be fun to see what happens in that contest.
Walker will drop straight back, throws it over the middle of the field. It's going to be in and out of his receiver's hands. It's coming out of the backfield. James Shelton, the tailback, unable to hang on to it as he was open. Just throw a little touch on it was Walker, and that one couldn't be gathered in by Shelton. And incomplete will bring up third down, 10 yards to go to the dismay of the Greenway fans below us.
Indeed it will, Patrick. Bring up a third down and 10. Patrick, the other games, Lafayette County, another school that we covered there at Grenada tonight. Patrick, challenging the 5A school. Could be a really intriguing matchup there. Lafayette County with a big win last week over Amory, and Patrick on the road tonight at Grenada. Grenada, I think, predicted to have a pretty good, pretty solid football team. Should be an intriguing matchup there as well.
Trips to the right as they have the single receiver to left. It's going to be picked off. It's going to be the young man that we've been calling a lot tonight, whose name on covers for the Hilltoppers looked like again it was Chris Brand, who stepped in front of the pass that was intended for Robinson and intercepted it. Good job right there on the little look-in, Paul, the little slant as you called it a few minutes ago. He didn't bite, and a good job by Brand of reading the quarterback.
Don't know this young man's size exactly, Patrick. He's just a junior, but quite frankly, he's been Johnny on the spot, and athletically speaking, the young man seems to be in very good position. Every time the football is thrown his way, good job of just reacting the football to the pattern on the football that time, Patrick, and with a nice interception and getting the football back up to the 23-yard line. So, Patrick, just like that, West Point gives it right back to us.
Wings to the left and right, and, of course, now we got flags flying in. I think that the Hilltoppers were trying to get Robinson off the field and might be whistled maybe for maybe a delay, maybe an illegal alignment or something. We'll just have to wait right here and see what the indication is. Maybe too many men on the field. We'll have to wait and see. But they never snapped the football, so that would not be the case. Paul, were you able to see what it was called? Was it a legal procedure?
Was not able to see what happened. I wasn't looking. Patrick, I'll go real quickly and we'll finish our area schools. Water Valley tonight's on the road, Patrick, at Coffeyville. And, of course, Pontotoc is playing at Oxford. We cover both of those schools. Bill, should be an intriguing football game tonight between Pontotoc and Oxford over in Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah, Oxford Johnny Hill trying to get Oxford back on track, but it'll be a tough match against Dennis Robbins' squad as we saw last week. Should be a very good and balanced ball game there in Oxford.
Again, flags fly in, and it looks like the delay of game is going to be whistled against the Hilltoppers, going to cost them 5 more. First down and 20 now as the Hilltoppers back up some more, back to their own 13-yard line, and putting themselves in a pretty long yardage situation here.
Well, first down and 20, Patrick. After the interception, we haven't snapped the football, and we've lost 10 yards. So, I mean, that's something that you don't want to do, shoot yourselves in the foot after the turnover because, after the quick score, the football game's kind of settled down somewhat, so you'd like to see the Hilltoppers maybe get control of this thing again.
Harrell is a long back in the backfield. Good job of spinning off a tackle, goes over the 20 up to the 21-yard line. Good pickup on the play and a good job of recouping a lot of that yardage back. We'll call it a gain of 7, actually a gain of 8. We'll bring up second down and 12 for the Hilltoppers.
Nice spin move that time by Harrell, Patrick, after he got in the secondary. Pretty good job of running the football, and the young man has been running the football pretty well on his opportunities he's had so far here early in the football game tonight.
And it'll be second down and 12 for the Hilltoppers right along their own 23-yard line. We'll call it the 22. As Harrell is alone back in the backfield, wings both left and right. As it's going to be the wing to the right, it's going to be Holman, who's going to go over the 23 up to about the 24. Short gain on the play. We'll call it a gain of 2. Looked like coming up to make the stop defensively was Nico Edwards, the safety for the West Point Greenway. We'll bring up third down, and we'll call it 9 yards to go. Possession play for the Hilltoppers.
Even though it's hot tonight, Patrick, it really does feel like football because tomorrow night, for all intents and purposes, or tomorrow afternoon, starts the action for the area universities in the state as well. So we had a lot of fun last Friday night. It just really feels like football tonight, except for these 100-degree temperatures we're having during the day.
Caleb Chandler will split to the right, and now we've got flags flying in again as the play just gets in motion. And the Hilltoppers may be penalized for the third time on this drive. We'll just have to wait to see. They sort it out. No, it looks like the Hilltopper players are clapping. Offside is going to be whistled against West Point, and that's going to give That's actually going to give the Hilltoppers 5 yards and make it 3rd down and 4 yards to go. And now very makeable first down for the Hilltoppers.
You know, Paul mentioned those university games, 11:30 and 2:30 tomorrow. Going to be some hot seats in those stadiums. I hope everybody wears light clothes and brings plenty of water.
McCullough drops straight back, looks in the flats to Chandler as breaking on the football was the DB. Actually, Paul, looked like it was a linebacker, Neon actually Tyra Young, as he made a break on the football and maybe deflected the football maybe just a little bit as it was in and out of the hands of Chandler. He really gambled, Paul. If he misses that play, Mr. Chandler has a lot of real estate in front of him if he's able to hang on.
He has a lot of real estate in front of him if he does. But, you know, Bill, you make a very good point. It's going to be warm tomorrow. People that have a chance to look how deep Patrick will actually have punting the foot. I forgot it is 4th down. But people really need to start drinking liquids and fluids tonight if they're planning on attending those football games.
As it's going to be received and not out of the hands of the receiver actually for West Point. It looks like that the Hilltoppers may have recovered the errant or mishandled punt, as it looked like for West Point it was Nico Edwards who was there to receive it, and we still have no indication from the officials on the field. And the Hilltoppers have the football, still no indication, and they have. Houston has recovered the punt on the mishandled punt from Young and have the football 1st and 10 inside the West Point Green Wave territory.
Well, we have a break, Patrick. I think that was Jerome Mabry that may have been the young man that came up with the football, as he was kind of Johnny on the spot. I thought there was an opportunity, Patrick, look initially that Will had an opportunity to get on the football. The junior had a chance to get on it, but may have lost it. But Mabry, thank goodness, was there. The Hilltoppers will set up shop 1st down 10 at the West Point 47-yard line.
As splitting wide to the right will be Travis McManus, as they'll have wings left and right, as the wings, of course, and the long back in the backfield, as it's going to be given to the wing to the left, and it's going to be Brand. He's over the 45 down to the 44, as Chris Brand will have a gain of 5, but Paul, a flag comes in again, as this thing has kind of turned into the Flag Bowl the last 2 minutes here of this of play during this second quarter of play here between West Point and Houston.
Unfortunately, Patrick, it looks like it's going to be another illegal procedure penalty against the Toppers, so that'll back them up about 5 yards. We'll make it 1st down and 15. So, like you said, Patrick, the Toppers have had a handful of penalties here in the first, probably first 17, 18 minutes of this contest. So those have kind of kept them at bay. Patrick, Tupelo, Louisville, big game tonight being played over in Tupelo. You see a lot of intriguing matchups right now. You see Ripley on the road, Patrick. They're playing a 5A school in South Haven tonight. A lot of things that happened early in the contest. Oaklawn and Shannon, kind of a rivalry game there as well. I think they have some type of title they give to the winner of that game. So it's kind of only about 8 or 10 miles apart. Those two schools are. So a lot of good contests going all over Northeast Mississippi tonight.
Brandon Holman are the wings left and right, as Gann is the near side receiver. It's going to be given to the up man, the long back in the backfield, and on the carry inside the 40, inside his 30. Good job of still running hard with the football for the Hilltoppers was Michael Griffin. Good job of carrying the football and a good job of keeping that balance. Big gain for the Hilltoppers.
Great balance that time, Patrick, by Griffin. As Patrick around the 40, he did a good job of just keeping his feet, and then Patrick, like they had him bottled up somewhere around the 30-yard line. Somehow or another, the young man just kept his balance, kept running, kept his feet going. That's the one thing they tell you, Patrick, good running backs need to do. That time Griffin showed great balance. Great job running the football. Good play that time by him, and the Toppers are knocking on the door once again.
33-yard run by Griffin, and the young man puts his team in deep and Green Wave territory as the Hilltoppers now knocking on the door. 6.5 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. It's going to be Brand going off right tackle. Turns it up inside the 15 down to the 12. Nice pickup again. A gain of 8, and we'll bring up 2nd down in relatively short yardage. Nice pickup on 1st down by the Green Wave.
And you know that 33-yard run, Patrick, the same as the young man from Auburn had last night, which was the longer than any run they had last year from the line of scrimmage. They had it last night in one ball game, 33 yards against Wyoming in that big victory by the Tigers.
He had a 70-yard touchdown actually toward the end of the football game. He actually had a super long run, and maybe Auburn has answered some questions at their running back position.
Under a lot of duress, it's going to be McCullough, and he's going to be dropped. along the 22-yard line. Looked like to come up the play defensively, Lois Vaughn, as he dropped him right around the 21 as he run that little action to the wing, looked like to Brand, and good job of just right there not being fooled by Mr. Vaughn and dropping him for a loss. Big play right there defensively for Houston.
I looked at the scoreboard momentarily, Patrick. Couldn't tell if I almost called him Tulane instead of West Point. It couldn't tell if West Point came with pressure or if that may have just been a blown assignment on the offensive line. But indeed, did knock McCullough down the earth. Patrick, a big loss on the play.
3rd down, 9 yards to go. As Robinson is a wing to the left, as it's going to be Holman wing to the right. McCullough under heavy duress finds his receiver open right along the 12-yard line. It's going to be complete. Looked like on the reception for the Hilltoppers was Chris Griffin. Paul, I don't know if he has the first down. We do have a penalty flag as well here laying right around the 30-yard line, so we'll have to sort this thing out.
It's going to be against the Toppers again, Pat. I believe this was going to back them up again.
Well, the Toppers really, really have been hurt by the penalty flag here in the second quarter. A lot of penalty flags been thrown against the Hilltoppers here in the second quarter, Bill.
Yeah, they've had a lot of mistakes here in the second quarter. Started off strong, and as you said, the game kind of slowed down a little bit after the quick score. And fortunately for West Point, it did slow down for the Hilltoppers via the penalty route.
Really don't know if Houston has really been stopped, except stopping themselves here in the first half. They've moved the football pretty well when they've had it, but have kind of self-destructed with a few penalties and a couple of mistakes.
Well, they have, Patrick, and we're still waiting for the preliminary indication. This is some type of major penalty here of some sort. I don't know if it was a dead ball personal foul or what it was, but something happened, Patrick, that it's not your regular run-of-the-mill illegal motion, illegal procedure penalty here. It may be unsportsmanlike conduct or something. Oh, it's a holding penalty.
Well, we have a hole. Where the Hilltoppers are backing up, it must have been whistled way back upfield. Actually, now it's marked back at the Hilltop, and then a personal foul added to it. Oh, goodness gracious. As we have the hold and now the personal foul, that's going to mark it back all the way back to the Hilltopper 45-yard line, and the Green Wave get a very big break.
Well, it's going to be 3rd down, probably back somewhere around 30 yards to go for the first down, and so that was a big penalty as the Toppers, Patrick's 3rd and 34 actually, so that will be a big penalty, and there's a timeout on the field, Patrick.
We have a timeout on the field. We have an official timeout on the field, and we'll take it with them. 3rd down and 34 for the Toppers as Robinson will go in motion from right to left as McCullough will throw it upfield. He's got a receiver wide open. It's going to be caught. Looked like on the reception for the Hilltoppers was Chris Griffin. What a nice throw, and another flag is down again. I don't know if he went past the line of scrimmage on the throw. We'll have to wait and see. What was a heck of a throw by McCullough, and we'll just have to sort this one out. And indeed, I think he passed the line of scrimmage, but boy, what a throw by McCullough, and a good job of receiving the football on the reception. Looked like for Chris Griffin, but going to be called back as a miss stepped across the line of scrimmage.
Well, Coach Allen and this West Point football team have to feel very fortunate, Patrick. They have been very, very and I hate to say lucky, but very fortunate to get the breaks they've had, because Houston has done nothing but shoot themselves in the foot here on this drive here in the second quarter. They've had 2 big plays, Patrick, probably of, well, you can't really say anything about the coming across the line of scrimmage because that's an effort play. You can accept that, but some of the other plays are plays that you can have a little bit of a grievance with.
Absolutely. Great athleticism shown by McCullough as he stepped up there and threw a strike. I mean, just down the field and his receiver did a good job because he was running. I always say and the receiver is rolling, Paul, as you want to come back to him. But when he goes downfield like that, you want to go downfield and get dealt. And the receiver did a good job of getting dealt and was open. But we'll bring up 4th down and 39 as we are a shade under 5 minutes remaining. As looks like now, Paul, is West Point this time is going to bring in another guy to receive the punts, and T.C. Harris after Young fumbled the last one. And hanging it high and it's going to bound right along the 20-yard line as right there at that point is Tim Hartwig, who's going to down at that point for the Hilltoppers, as a good job of hanging that punt up there by John Horn. And the Hilltoppers defensively will take the field as West Point will get it 1st and 10 from right along the 20-yard line.
Quite frankly, Patrick, score 6-0, and it could be easily 14. But You know, probably the most interesting thing I've seen, Patrick, that's probably surprised me the most, and Bill, I think you would attest to this, is the fact that Horn missed the extra point. I saw him play last year. Young man kicked a field goal from around 42 yards at Winona, if I'm not mistaken. The young man just really has a strong leg.
Walker on the draw will give it to his tailback. On the carry will be Shelton. Shelton might have got back to the line of scrimmage. I don't think he did, Paul, as he's going to be dropped right along the line of scrimmage. Looked like making the play defensively for the Hilltoppers may have been Lance Buchanan.
Buchanan, Patrick, along with Eddie White, along a lot of his friends on the defensive front wall. That time, a good job, Patrick, by the Hilltopper defensive linemen of staying in their lanes, just being patient and doing a good job, Patrick, of knocking the ball carrier down for no appreciable gain.
We'll call it no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10, as Robinson will split near side to the right, and the slot beside him will be Harris. They'll have single receiver to the left, and they got a slot to the left or a wing to the left, long back in the backfield, and now before the play even gets started, again the penalty flag drops, and I think they might have moved a little early right there on the left side.
Well, I think they moved bad early, Patrick. The wide receiver is about 5 yards up the field while the quarterback was still calling his signals. But, you know, Bill and Pat, I think something that's been maybe somewhat bothering the officials, particularly with Houston offensively, has been the fact that they run so much motion, and I believe that it may be somewhat confusing to the referees, because I've noticed, I'm sure we're moving a lot, but I'm sure that that is something that they're going to watch closely.
Now timeout on the field from West Point, and we'll take it with them. As he'll give it again. Actually, now he'll look into the middle of the field. He's got his back out of the backfield. It's going to be Shelton, still on his feet, over the 40, over the 45. He's got a guy to beat. He's over midfield. He's over the 40. He's over the 30. Inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Is on the reception, looked like a good job coming out of the backfield for the West Point Green Wave, and a touchdown-saving tackle in the secondary as Shelton inside the 30 down to the 29. Big play for the Green Wave.
Well, Patrick, a good job that time of faking the football to the fullback, Patrick, and then throwing a little quick slant pattern to him. And Patrick, I'll be honest with you, I'm glad that we were able to make the tackle on the play. Caleb Chandler, Patrick, with a great effort play of getting back up the football field, and otherwise, that young man sitting in the end zone right now.
It'll be 1st down and 10 yards to go for the Green Wave inside the Hilltopper 29. 3.5 minutes remain here before the halftime, as they will have T.C. Harris as the near side receiver, and the slot will be Collins going from right to left. Walker will give it to the back in the backfield again. It's going to be Shelton, and a flag comes in here right around the 30. And boy, we have seen a number of these here in the first half. Hopefully this time against West Point.
It's going to be a legal procedure, Patrick, against West Point. Patrick, the wide receiver out here on the right side, Patrick, split out wide to the right. James Shelton moved just a little bit before the snap count. We'll back them up 5. But you said it early, Patrick. You said it before we came back on the air, before the timeout. You said West Point seems to be a football team that's just kind of hanging around here in this contest, and they seem to be a pretty talented football team. And anytime you have a quarterback, Patrick, like this Walker kid, who's 6'4", 220, can look up over the defensive line and can throw the football, he's a little bit of a danger.
Looks like he has the ability to deliver the football, and they've got some weapons on offense. 2nd down and 15, as he'll drop straight back, and the pass is thrown here in the flats. It's complete to Harris here to the 25 down to about the 27. I think that was actually 1st down instead of 2nd down. So it will bring up 2nd down and 8 as they get the penalty yardage back and then some, as it will bring up 2nd down, and we'll call it 7 after the gain of 8.
And Brian Tucker, a young man who can really, really run, from what the coaches tell us here for Houston, Patrick, did a good job of making the tackle, Patrick, keeping it to an 8-yard play as he reacted well. But you said it well, Patrick. There's no question. They're moving the football pretty well right now. Pretty cohesive drive right here by the West Point Green Wave.
Shelton is the tailback behind Walker. And it's going to be picked, and Caleb Chandler, he's over the 40, 45, midfield. It's going to be a foot race, and Caleb Chandler will win this one. And as quickly as they make the big play on offense, the Green Wave do, the Hilltoppers answer with a huge defensive play by Caleb Chandler.
What a turn of events, Patrick. You're looking at a big, probably 14-point turnaround right there, because you're probably going to a situation where it could be a tie ball game, actually 7-6 lead. He just jumped the pattern that time, and Caleb did a good job, Patrick, when he got in the open field. Hey, let's give him credit a couple minutes ago, Patrick. If he doesn't hustle up the field to make the tackle on the big play, there's probably not an opportunity for the interception. That's why the coaches tell you, Patrick, line up one more time and make them play one more down. Just a great example again. Patrick, is the young man, did a good job. I'm sure they'll probably go for the 2-point conversion right here as well.
Guys, I was unable to pick up the total yardage on that return. I believe you caught it right around the 25-yard line, Bill. We're going to say that's somewhere in the neighborhood of a 75-yard touchdown on the interception return for Caleb Chandler.
Super job, Bill. I tell you what, I guess I keep alluding to it, but you got to give him credit for making the tackle on the play a couple minutes before that, because he wouldn't have had the opportunity for that interception.
Absolutely. That set the whole thing up. It really did.
Again, it's going to be on the carry, looks like, for the Hilltoppers. And on the 2-point conversion, it's good from Michael Griffin. He plunges in on the 3-yard carry, and quickly Houston has added to that 6-0 lead. They now lead 14-0. 2 minutes, 37 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Well, like we said, Patrick, what a great turn of events that time for the Toppers, and quite frankly, have an opportunity now to have a little bit of a breathing room, because quite frankly, West Point was closing in and was looking pretty crisp. But quite frankly, Patrick, they are back in a better position now. We want to thank our fine sponsors for helping make Houston High School football courtesy to you on channel TV7, TV 34, Union Planters Bank in Houston, Patrick, Griffin Motor Company, Piling Wholesale Furniture, Classic Exteriors Vinyl Siding, Gene King, the owner, King's Tire, Reggie Callahan in town, Reggie Callahan, the owner, Custom Auto Accessories, Bell South Provider, they're in town, Carl Rogers is the owner. With that, A&A Electrical Supply Water, and Pat Archer. Bill, we'll get to a few more in just a few minutes, but getting ready to kick the football off here is Horn.
Boy, a significant change of events here in this football game is now Houston has moved their lead out to 14-0. Big play defensively from the Hilltoppers from Caleb Chandler on the interception return, as West Point was knocking on the door trying to answer and actually have an opportunity to go ahead in this football game. Big play, and now John Horn will kick the football off back to the Green Wave, as we have a little over 2.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. As Horn will step forward and he will kick it, kicks a sky kick, as looks like it's going to be Young. It's going to be gathering in around the 30, 20 actually, over the 30, and will be spilled right along the 30-yard line, the 28-yard line, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Green Wave from right along the 27-yard line here of West Point.
Looked like Jerome Mabry was the young man that made the tackle on special teams, also the young man that recovered the punt a few minutes ago. He's Johnny on the spot. And we'll bring up a 1st down and 10 from right around the 26-yard line, Patrick. I feel a little bit better about this contest now. Looks like Houston has kind of dodged a bullet somewhat, if we might say that.
Got a little bit of a comfort zone or a comfortable lead now, but of course, I tell you what, they've shown the propensity for the big play, so West Point can get back in this thing quickly as throw the little screen pass. That's a lateral, and now they actually rule it an incomplete pass, as not quite sure the officials are not on the same page. I think a couple of them going for the football like it was a lateral, and then you had it to spot it, and then you had the other one, the back judge, probably like he called it an incomplete pass. And nevertheless will be an incomplete pass, and 2nd down and 10 for the Green Wave.
And Griffin leads. Patrick Chandler will come back on the football field. I'm sure the young man a little bit winded after the long return, Patrick, for the touchdown. So good job that time by Chandler, Patrick. Good job by the Hilltoppers of wrestling this momentum again away from the Green Wave.
As Walker now keeps it on the quarterback draw, and he keeps it over the 30 up to about the 32. And looks like he's going to be spilled at that point. Looked like coming up to make the play defensively was Adam Duncan. As actually, Paul, I believe that may have been Jerome Mabry once again on the tackle. We'll call it a gain of 3. We'll bring up 3rd down and 7 as the clock under 2 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. And a possession play for West Point as the Hilltoppers will like nothing better to get this football back here and secure that lead going into the first half, and maybe even put some additional points on the board. As Walker sets up the screen, and he's going to be hit and met right there immediately upon reception of the football, and no gain on the play. Will be 4th down. Big play, looked like defensively for the Hilltoppers. Looked like it might have been Lance Buchanan, Paul, making the stop on the screen pass, and bring up 4th down and 7. And the Green Wave will be forced to punt.
Buchanan did a good job, Patrick, of dissecting the middle screen that time, and did a good job of wrestling the ball carrier down to the earth. Patrick, I think Bill would attest to this. And of course, I know he missed the extra point, but you have a weapon in Horn. You might get in field goal range here. You might be up 17-0 at halftime instead of 14-0.
As Brand will stand right along his own 35-yard line as they come with a little bit of pressure, and Brand will ask for a fair catch right along the 43. Pretty good field position. 53 seconds remaining here in the first half of play. If you're Houston here right now, do you try to put the ball in the air, get a little yardage, see if you can get your team in position, or are you comfortable just to sit on that 14-0 lead?
I think Coach Funk will probably put the football in the air because he has one of the best kickers in the area, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they'll throw the football.
As you said, very rarely do you see him miss a point after, and I agree with you, Paul. I think they will try to move the chains a couple of times and give Horn the opportunity to indeed add to the score here. They do have a luxury of having a good kicker and also a very experienced seasoned quarterback in McCullough, who's made some very good decisions here tonight, both in the air and on the ground as well.
Near side receiver is McManus as Holman comes in motion from right to left. Little nifty little play that was set up right there. I'd like to see that thing materialize.
I think it may have been a quarterback throwback, but I'm not sure because the wide receiver here on the left side didn't move at all. I don't know, it may have not been, but it looked awfully strikingly close to it, but then again it may have not been.
Penalty yardage marked off against West Point as it's going to be offsides. It's going to give them 5 yards penalty yardage and the clock not running, so big play there. Gives them an opportunity to pick up some more real estate and, of course, get a little closer maybe into field goal range now, and maybe not as big a play needed to get into field goal range with the penalty yardage. First down and 5 from the 48-yard line of Houston, as Houston has it at that point. As, again, they will split. Again, it looks like it's going to be Gann. Scott Gann will be the near side receivers. They'll have wings to the right and the left, as Robinson will be the wing to the right as they'll give it on the little toss sweep to Harrell over the 50, over the 45. A flag comes in late right along where he made the cutback, and looks like probably a hold will be called. We'll just have to wait for the indication or the signal from the officials and sort this one out. West Point player down on the field clapping, and you're right, Paul, chop block has been called against against Houston. It's going to cost them some penalty yardage and some real estate.
It will, Patrick. I would say that, of course, now with the penalty, it'll be more than that. I was thinking of my thinking process here. If they could probably get 20 yards, they might be in Horn's range, but probably have to get closer to 30 yards now to get somewhere around the 30. I think you get for them probably 45 to 48 yards out. I think the young man's got a really good leg. I think he has an opportunity to make the field goal.
Well, that's going to cost them some 10 yards on. Actually, we'll call it 10 yards on the from the spot of the foul. And it's moved back to the 39-yard line, and it's still first down as they'll have Robinson. Actually, now they've got a wing to the right only in Robinson, as they'll toss sweep it to the right to Harrell. They set the corner up well, and he's going to be met, though, right along the 44-yard line. Coming up to make the stop defensively, very active linebacker Keith Ford. Noticed him on the field for the Green Wave, made a good play. Clock didn't stop as it continues to run. I thought he might have got out of bounds. Now Houston will be forced to burn a timeout.
Real quick story, Bill, Pat, something probably that you might find interesting. Back years ago, in the line of work that I was in, I worked a lot in the Houston area and got very familiar with the Chandler family, Caleb Chandler. And, of course, I remember his 2 older brothers. Of course, Chico, not much older, plays now at Ole Miss. He had another brother that played at Itawamba. His name was Richard. Very fine football player, but comes from a very, very fine family as well. Had an opportunity to meet his mom. I think his mom's name is Alice. Nice lady, and if I'm not mistaken, they get their athletic ability from their dad, because I remember meeting his dad one time. I think he's about 6'9", and I'm really serious. He's about 6'9". So he's and if I'm not mistaken, his name was Winston, a fine guy, and like I said, Patrick and Bill, really nice family as well.
Indeed, and of course, the young Chico is a sophomore on the Ole Miss football team presently, as you mentioned, and a backup fullback, and probably get an opportunity to play some this time.
I think he probably will play some. I noticed in practice that he got some reps the other day. Of course, I'm not an Ole Miss fan, but I did have an opportunity to see him running some on TV the other night. I noticed it was him that was taking some reps at halfback the same morning. Second
down and 10 from right along the 44s. They'll have wings left and right as Brown will go in motion from right to left. And this is going to be picked, actually in and out of the hands as both of the DBs, or the linebacker and the DB, may have fought each other for the football. As looked like for the Green Wave, it was Keith Ford along with maybe Nico Edwards, that both let the football fall harmlessly to the earth, incomplete. A lot of hearts jumped up in their throats there for the from the Hilltopper coaching staff, because you don't want to give up a cheapie right there before the end of the half.
You're right. I wouldn't be surprised, Patrick. Now, I would think that Coach Funk and his staff may just say, guys, let's get on into halftime now. It's 19 seconds left. It's third and forever. So let's just keep this 14-0 lead. I'm sure he'd like to avert disaster. It came close to happening just then.
Indeed, I think you'll maybe see that, maybe some kind of safe play call right here as they have it 3rd down and 10. Actually, they give a little, actually on the dive play and still running over the 45 down inside the 42, and a 1st down on the carry for the Hilltoppers.
You might do something now.
I'm not sure, Paul, who was that on the carry? Was that Harrell on the carry?
I think it was Harrell, Patrick, that got in the secondary, did a good job running the football. They can, I don't know, do they have any timeouts left? I'm not really sure. They can spike the football here. If they don't have any timeouts left. They'll just throw the football down, I'm sure.
Indeed, now they snap it, and we'll give it again on the, it's going to be Harrell.
He's got out of bounds.
The 35, and he's going to be dropped down around the 32. That will bring to an end the first half of play. We played one half. Houston 14, West Point nothing, on a very strange turn of events there before the end of the halftime intermission in the favor of the Hilltoppers, giving them this 14-0 lead that they enjoy at halftime.
Hey guys, we'll take a break and be back after we hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be back with the halftime show here from West Point, Mississippi. You stay with us on TV 7, TV 34.
I want something to eat. You want to get something to eat with us?
I'll get you something. Go ahead.
He's done a great job of rebuilding this Hilltopper band. He's done a good job these last 2 years. And they just sound and look great and playing good music too. That's a Beatles tune. You know, Alan hadn't been a good song with us since 1975, isn't that right?
I'll agree with you there. You can ask any of my friends. They might listen to the latest stuff, but I'm a 70s fan myself.
Oh, you're a man at home hard. I'm a 50s, 60s, and 70s man.
Hey, bud, what's going on? Son, just got you on the radio.
Yes, indeed. I tell you what, there are 66 members of the band. You know, band is an activity that makes it possible as many kids as any other activity. And you really believe it. This is that great competition. And I tell you, all 66 men are men on the field at the same time. And I'm like, say football, we got 11 guys out there. Man, Mr. Morris played out in New York. There are 66 men. And they have to move with precision.
And as both teams have now taken the field, and we begin the second half of play with the Hilltoppers leading 14-0 over the West Point Greenway. Paul, very entertaining first half. Both teams played pretty much on an even keel. We hit a little bit of a lull there midway through the first half, with a lot of penalties being thrown on both sides of the football for both teams, and both teams making a lot of mistakes. But the Houston Hilltoppers, of course, both teams got some turnovers in the first half, but the Houston Hilltoppers made good on their one turnover on the interception return by Caleb Chandler, some 75-yard touchdown interception return, which proves to be the difference in this football game here right now at halftime.
Thus far, Patrick, the biggest play in the football game, probably a 14-point turnaround, was the interception and the return for the touchdown by Chandler, Patrick, and he was Johnny on the spot, big play. Caleb has came up big, as well as Brand, the receiver, the cornerback. Young man had an interception. Patrick has played pretty well here in the contest as well. But real quickly, Patrick, before they kick this football off, I'll go over this poll. We'll give you the AP poll in the state of Mississippi in a few minutes, but the large school poll in the state of northeast part of the state, Patrick, the Daily Journal puts out Shannon 1, Ripley 2, Itawamba 3, Lafayette County 4, Patrick, and our own Houston Hilltoppers number 5. Quite an honor for Coach Funk and his staff. The number 5 large school team in the northeast Mississippi View Daily Journal area.
Horn will step forward, and it will be Edwards at his own 11-yard line, as he finds the 15-20, big hole, and he's out of a cannon. He's over the 45, up to the 43-yard line, and a good job of on the open field tackle. I believe it might have been Horn who actually made the tackle for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, the kicker made the play, if I'm not mistaken. I believe you're right, but real quickly, back to the poll a couple minutes ago, Bill, and for Pat, I would say that's quite an honor. Coach Funk, remember 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was, when he first took over this program, they were lucky to win 2-3 ball games a season. All of a sudden, now they're the number 5 large school team in the area.
Indeed, really marked improvement from this program, and a good job for Coach Funk and his crew. As again, it's going to be Walker's going to throw the screen.
Knee's down,
and his knee was down on the 40. Good job, Paul. Good call right there. As he gets him right around the 40-yard line, and going to lose a yard on the play on the reception to T.C. Harris.
Well, I think you will, but real quick, we'll give you the small school poll, Patrick. Boonville, of course, number 1. They have a little bit of a tussle tonight. Probably the only chance with a great breeze, guys. This feels good.
Boonville,
yes.
Boonville probably has the only opportunity they might have to lose a game in the regular season tonight. They're battling Corinth. They're number 1. Vardaman, the Rams, are number 2. Odie Burrell and his crew are number 2 in the small school. Odie Armstrong, excuse me. Baldwin number 3, Smithville 4, and Hamilton number 5.
Walker will drop straight back and will throw it in the direction of Robinson. In and out of his hands, incomplete. And I tell you what, that one right there probably should have been caught. Incomplete will bring up 3rd down and 10.
And again, Brand was a young man that was in position to at least have his body in position to make a play on the football, and maybe force the receiver to make a little tougher play than he might have anticipated, but quite frankly still in good position. Of course, Bill Vardaman being number 2, also with Lafayette County being number 4, the schools that we like to cover, and also with Houston being number 5, look like we have another opportunity to have a successful season here on TV 34.
Maybe even a postseason.
As it's 3rd down and 10 for the Green Wave. As under heavy duress, Walker throws it in the middle of the field. That same play has worked on numerous occasions for him as they drag the back out of the backfield. James Shelton on the completion for a 1st down for the Green Wave. 1st and 10, West Point from the Hilltopper 45.
Good call, Patrick. Again, that little drag pattern, like you said, out of the backfield to this young man, Shelton. Did a good job of finding a seam in the Hilltopper defense and making a play on the football. You have to be impressed with this quarterback from West Point, Patrick. Your kid's got good size and seems to throw the football with a lot of touch as well.
As they'll have it 1st and 10, as Walker will drop straight back. We'll throw the fly pattern again, and it's going to be brought back to the field. And
what a
tipped
catch.
Up in the air, and it looked like a pick on the interception. A good job of a diving effort right there. Looked like on the interception for the Houston Hilltoppers, I believe it was Rod Holman, and a nice job of finding that football on the tip drill and finding the football in his arms is Rod Holman.
Well, Patrick, good point. The coaches work on a little tip drill with the defensive backs from time to time, and that time Holman was there. Young man made the first play of the football game, if you remember correctly, on a little pass pattern out here to him, and this time picks up the interception. Good job that time by Holman, Pat.
And it's first down and 10 for the Hilltoppers at the 20, we'll call it right along the 25-yard line, as they'll have their initial possession of the second half. Would like nothing better, Bill, than get some points here to start this one and maybe get some distance between
Well,
them.
they scored early in the first half, trying to add to it here quickly and get some momentum going here in the second half.
It's going to be Griffin. He's going to be off right tackle, still staying on his feet. That young man just does not like to go down. A gain of 4 on the play, 4 tough yards. But I tell you what, he makes the defenders earn it every time they put him on the ground.
You know, they lose the Moose, Shane Stafford, the big man last year, but this Griffin kid has really come in and shown some good possibilities here for Coach Rusty Funk. And Griffin showing that he can come in and really take a role there and be a role player, as he has been here so far in this ball game.
Just keeps his feet moving all the time, has great balance, Patrick, and runs the football hard, particularly in between the tackles.
Second down and 6 for the Toppers right along their own 29-yard line, as dropping straight back as McCullough passes complete over the middle of the field to Robinson, who's over the midfield stripe down to the Greenway 49-yard line. Nice job of delivering the football by McCullough and a first down.
Super job that time by McCullough. The football was waiting on Robinson, Patrick, when he turned around. I mean, they timed that just beautifully, and it was a super throw. I tell you what, I've been really impressed with McCullough, Patrick. He just seems to have a really nice grasp on the offense and just seems to be a young man that's a winner.
First down and 10 for the Hilltoppers right along midfield. Tremendous poise shown right there by McCullough, and found his receiver Robinson. Big play here, and it's first and 10 right along midfield for the Hilltoppers, who are on the move. They have wings both left and right, as it's going to be Brand. Actually, it's going to be Robinson over to the 45, still on his feet over the 40, still staying down along the 38-yard line before he's ran out of bounds. And another first down for the Hilltoppers.
Almost took Coach Funk out over there on the sideline. A super job of running the football. Again, Patrick Robinson showed good balance after initial contact was made by the West Point defensive back, and the DB he just bounced off the would-be tackler. The DB just had no effect on him. But the thing that really has to impress you, Patrick, again, is McCullough. Patrick, with his ball handling skills, just really knows how to be crisp in his ball handling, Patrick, to get him the football. He just looks so smooth and is running back to the recipient. So a young man that has a really nice grasp of the offense.
Again, Griffin is a long back as they'll fake the football, as it's Brand on the carry, and this time nothing doing. They faked the football to Robinson and gave it again to the wing to the right, which was I believe not Brand, but Holman. And Holman might have got back to the line of scrimmage, probably lost a couple of yards on the play. We'll call it a loss of 3. Bring up second down and 13 from right along the 40. Guys, this wind is really, really picking up. I wonder if some rain might be in the area.
I tell you guys, we might see our first raindrops here on a Friday night, but I know we definitely need it, but maybe it'll wait till we get in the car.
Absolutely.
Nice open field tackle by Nico Edwards, that time the outside linebacker as well from West Point, Pat.
As the near side receiver will be McManus, as it's going to be Griffin, who's over left tackle. This time nowhere to go. And again, another good open field tackle, this time by Nico Edwards. And again, Paul, you call his name again. Good open field tackle. We'll bring up third down, and we'll call it 13 yards to go. Actually, third down and 12. As the Hilltoppers facing their first possession play of the first half.
Well, defensively,
Second half.
This West Point defense has really played pretty well since that first drive. I mean, they've kind of had the bend but don't break mentality. They've given up real estate. I mean, they're not responsible for the touchdown that we had before halftime. So the Hilltoppers have got a little bit of a challenge with this defensive front and linebackers that the Green Wave throw at them.
Second down and 13. Third down and 13 as McCullough rolls to his right. Now looks upfield, and the pass is going to be incomplete. Don't know if it was intended for Gann or if he intended it for Holman, but it's over. Looked like it might have been Holman over his head and incomplete. Nevertheless, fourth down and 13, and the Hilltoppers forced to punt.
Yeah, Patrick, you're talking about good football games. If I'm not mistaken tonight, I believe down in the Jackson area, I think Clinton and maybe Brandon are fighting each other tonight or going at it tonight out in the Jackson metro area, if I'm not mistaken. That will be quite an interesting contest to see what happens there.
Well, they actually have the offense still on the field as they look like they might go for it. May just try to draw them off sides, but no, they do. They indeed run the play as he goes straight back to throw. Pass is complete. Holman's going to have the first down, I believe. Good job right there of just eluding the tackler right there after the reception. Good job of throwing the football by McCullough, and I think they have a first down.
Well, I mean, that was just a super throw that time again by McCullough, and a good job of Holman of receiving the football. And more importantly, Patrick, the thing that was impressive about it was a nice little spin move that Holman made that got him into first down country and did a lot of nice individual effort that time by Holman of getting the first down after the catch.
I don't know if he would have had the first down if tackled at the spot, so good job of running with the football after the reception. And it's 1st and 10 for the Toppers at the West Point 29-yard line as they'll give it to Griffith again off left tackle. Again, he's going to be met right along the 27-yard line. It looked like coming up to make the stop defensively for the Green Wave. It looked like it was Navis Wells along with some help from Nico Edwards. We'll call it a short gain of 2. We'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
I guess when you talk about Holman on the play before, I think they call that yak. If that's not what, is that what they call it, yardage after contact? Because quite frankly, I think you're right. I don't think he would have had the first down and with the initial contact that was made by the defensive back, but did have an opportunity to pick up the first down after the contact was made.
Again, it's going to be Griffith. Nice hole off tackle. Again, he's going to rumble inside the 25 down to the 23. Going to be a gain of some, we'll call it 6 on the play, actually a gain of 5. And we'll call it 3rd down and 3. The line to make for the first down looks to be just inside the 20 along the 19. So, Paul, we'll call it 3rd down and 3 yards to go for the Toppers.
And, Bill, I don't know what's going to have more of an effect on Patrick's ears, or actually it won't be Patrick's ears, but mine. The cowbells to more of this beeping that's going on in our headsets right now.
You may not hear the cowbells tomorrow.
3rd down and 3 for the Toppers. Again, it's going to be, looks like Harrell, looks like he's going to have the first down. He needed the 19. I think he's going to find the 17-yard line, and I think a first down.
Good job that time, Patrick, by the interior line from the Toppers. Patrick, a lot of young men getting their hats on somebody like the tight end again, Chandler. John Horn, Patrick, the kicker, if I'm not mistaken, did a good job of getting his hat on somebody, just getting a forward push and picking up first down yardage.
It's going to be, we're midway through the 3rd quarter of play. The Toppers really knocking on the door with it. 1st down and 10 from the Green Wave 12 as they'll come in motion with the wing. It's going to be, looks like big hole off left tackle over the, he fell down as running with the football would appear to be Brand. I'm not quite sure. I think it was Brand on the carry, Chris Brand, Paul, and I think that he smelled the end zone, got his feet moving a little bit quicker than his body could catch up to, and just kind of fell down along the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it 4 yards to go from right along the 6 as he smelled the end zone, unable to get there, but a nice pickup as well.
Well, that 12th defender was really kind for the Green Wave that time, Patrick, as the turf was probably the person that made the tackle, not a Green Wave defenders. But let's see, maybe it's 2nd down here and short, 2nd and 5. Maybe they can punch it in on this play.
As it again will be, looks like on the carry, Harrell's in the end zone for a Hilltopper touchdown as he plunges in from 5 yards out. And they put 6 more on the board with 5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter of play, leading 20-0. Nice drive from the Toppers.
Well, the thing you have to be impressed with, Patrick, after they denied the Green Wave from picking up points on their first drive here, the second half, that the Toppers offense this time kind of comes to life and does a good job of getting the football, going down the field, picking up nice yardage, picking up several first downs, and then putting the ball in the end zone. And to attempt the extra point again is going to be Horn. His kick is on its way, and it's good.
Houston 21, West Point nothing. Will return after these messages from our sponsor. And 5 minutes, 6 seconds remain in the 3rd quarter of play. Houston now has extended its lead out to 21-0 as they'll kick the football forward. And this one may have got off the side of the foot. It looks like it's going to roll out of bounds as that time looked like that Horn may have missed that one a little bit. And West Point will set up 1st down and 10 from, I think, is it from their 40 in high school football? 35 or 40, we'll have to, not sure, Bill, I forgot the ruling on that one, but they'll have it 1st and 10
think it's 35, isn't it?
It's either 35 or the 40. I'm not sure. I don't know how they do it in high school. But needless to say, they'll get the football. They're discussing their options with the officials right now. And the meeting of the board will continue on the field. As we mentioned, Paul, we don't get an opportunity to see this football team play. Folks, I tell you what, we've been impressed with them. This is a good, solid football team that has the ability to, of course, they were just absolutely a football team last year that lost out in every
heartbreaker.
Every way that you could lose out in that tiebreaker situation. It would have been a very, very good, solid contender in Class 3A a year ago, Bill. But I tell you what, I don't know if this thing can be denied this year.
They asked Coach Funk about last year, and he said last year's in the history books. You know, they're ready for 2000, looking forward to getting in the playoffs this year.
Good, solid football team, and we're really having the privilege for us to get to see them play, Paul. Really is. As Walker will give to, look like to his fullback or his up man on the carry, which was Jonathan Moore. And Moore will find the 37. We'll call it the 38. And obviously, Paul, they do start at the 35-yard line, so we'll call it a gain of 3. Second down and 7 for the Green Wave.
Just an honor, Patrick, to do this football game. Hope we get an opportunity to do a couple more. Love to do that Amory Shannon, or Houston Shannon game, Houston Shannon or Amory Houston game, Bill. Wouldn't mind having a chance to do those. We got a perk in there, Pat.
Well, we got twins to the left and a single to the right as he throws it upfield, and this time some interference, and this time it is called.
Face guard.
And right there, just following the receiver, not a bad play by the DB, Paul. I tell you what, he kind of got himself hung out to dry as he was playing the receiver, and the ball was thrown in a position where face guard is going to be called.
Well, you've got to, if you're the defensive back, you're right, Patrick. You've got to turn and look, and you got to find the ball. If you find the ball right there, you don't get the flag. But yeah, that's a call that's going to happen all the time for face guard.
And guys, there's a good game next week. If I'm not mistaken, Grenada visits Houston. So last year that was a barn burner in Grenada. Houston winning it in the last few minutes of the game. A high-scoring affair. And a lot of these Houston faithful looking forward to Grenada coming to Houston next weekend.
Ought to be exciting.
Should be a good
football game.
Should be a good football game. But real quickly, guys, I know they have a lot of good seniors that are key contributors. Bill, I was impressed. They only have 8 seniors on the football team from what I gather. So not only are they good now, like the future even looks better. So really impressed with this football program, Patrick, and where Houston is at this time.
As Shelton will come in motion, Walker throws it in the middle of the field, and almost intercepting the football was Brian Tucker, as Tucker got his hands on the football, and it falls incomplete. But got in between him and the receiver, and a good job by Tucker of getting his hands up there and knocking it down, very nearly intercepting the football for the Toppers.
And did a good job, Patrick. And I remember reading the article in the Daily Journal. Tucker was one of the young men that Coach Funk alluded to that all he said is a young man can play ball. That was his quote in the paper. So I'm sure that he's a senior. He is one of the seniors I'm sure they really count on heavily.
Movement across the line of scrimmage, and looks like that West Point might have been overzealous a little bit and moved a little bit early, and is going to be penalized for an illegal procedure. And indeed, that is what the call will be. We'll move it back into Green Wave territory. We'll bring up second down, and we'll call it 15 as they'll play second down over again. And we've been impressed with Walker, the quarterback from West Point. Has the ability to throw the football, big guy, big, strong kid. And they got some big players. Game probably turned on the interception from Chandler at this point. If the game holds up, or that holds up the point it is now, that will be the play of the game. But then they throw it in the middle of the field. It's in and out of the hands of Collins. Actually, the intended receiver was Harris, and falls incomplete. We'll bring up third down and 15 yards to go as we're under 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter of play.
That ball was well thrown. It looked like that ball should have been caught. But I think we're going to have some fun with this football game the rest of the way, because West Point's coming out with trips, and they've got a single receiver in the slot to the right. So we're probably going to have an opportunity. I think they're going to throw the football, so we'll have a little fun here in the second half anyway.
They'll have trips to the right, as they'll have a single receiver to the left, as Moore is the long back in the backfield behind Walker. And Walker drops straight back to throw, getting some pressure from Buchanan. And now we'll throw it upfield, and it's going to be a Quayle, as some pretty good pressure applied. As looked like the pressure again came from Buchanan, as well as he had a little bit of help. But I'm not sure, Paul, the young man that aided Buchanan, but I think it was along with him was Tim Hartwig. And both of those young men, Paul, got in the backfield and put some heavy pressure on Walker. And West Point is going to be forced to punt the football away.
Well, it was, Patrick. I've been impressed with Tucker and Hartwig both. I think they're both backers, and actually, Hartwig I think is a back, maybe a down line, but been impressed with both of those young men all night long. Both solid defensive football players.
Walker will set to boot this one away, and it's going to hit inside the 30 and roll out of bounds right along the 28. 1st and 10 for the Hilltoppers, right at their own 28-yard line, with just over 3.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter of play.
Guys, I want to know what the difference is in a quail and a lame duck.
Well, I don't know, but
Not the same.
One way or the other, it was one of those. Real quickly, we'll do something we like to do every week, Patrick. Top 20 in the state of Mississippi is somewhat the same. Madison Central still number 1. Moss Point, Patrick, after their big win over South Panola, number 2. Clinton, the Arrows, are number 3 with all their prospects they have on that football team. Jackson Provine, number 4. Clarksdale, 5. Meridian, 6. Louisville, 7. Brandon, 8. South Panola, number 9. Macomb, 10. We'll get the rest of the top 20 in just a few minutes.
And we have timeout on the field. And we'll take this one with us, with them. And if you want to run down that, we'll just take a break, and we'll return after these messages. McCullough will have his team in motion. 1st and 10 from the 29. He's going to give it to Griffith, who's over the 30 up to about the 32. Will be a gain of 3. We'll bring up 2nd down and 7 after the gain of 3. And I tell you what, Paul, Mr. Griffin's has had a yeoman's effort tonight as well. Been a lot of guys that have carried that football, but the young man has had a big game from that fullback or from that running back spot, and played awfully well here in the football game as well. 2nd down, and we'll call it 7. Actually, we'll give him a gain of 4, so it'll be 2nd down and 6. As Gann will be the long receiver or near side receiver to the left, as they'll have the 2 backs in the backfield, as they'll give it to the up back, or actually the wing to the left, and the wing to the left, of course, being Marco Robinson. Robinson finding the 1st down over the 40 up to the 42-yard line, and it will register a 1st down, and the drive will continue for the Hilltoppers. 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Nice pickup of 8 yards and a 1st down for Marco Robinson.
Good job, Patrick, running the football. 2 schools that are real close together. Macomb, Patrick, we said, were number 10. South Pike down in that same area of the state's number 11. Patrick, the opponent last week for West Point, Columbus, is number 12, and they have really rebounded that program as well.
Indeed, as McCullough will run the option to the left, and he will give it to looks like
nice.
Holman, and Holman will get back here to the 40, up to the 41. And you're right, Paul, there's a penalty flag that comes in here right where the tackle was made as well. And probably some kind of block in the back, clip, maybe whistled against the Hilltoppers. Indeed, Paul, you're exactly right. That's going to cost them some penalty yardage.
Well, the Griffins have played well, Patrick, both of them. And that time Chris just get a little bit overzealous, didn't let the guy get his jersey turned back toward him, and did hit him in the back. But he hit him pretty well. He unloaded on him. So he got his money's worth. There's no question about it, guys.
Well, that's going to be whistled from the spot of the foul, and indeed it is a clip. And the Hilltoppers will walk backwards, and the officials will spot it at the 26. Of course, the 15-yard penalty, the clipping variety, will make it 1st down, and I guess some 20, all right around 25 yards to go for a 1st down. We'll call it 25 with the ball right along the 27-yard line. Griffin is alone back in the backfield again, as going in motion again, and getting it, it looked like is Robinson, who's over the 30, over the 35-yard line, and finding some 7 or 8 yards on the play as Robinson. Nice pickup, and getting a good portion of the yardage back is Robinson.
And Bill, if you watched Mississippi State play a lot last year, they did that a lot with Kelvin Love. That's a timing pattern where you have to time the snap count just right. And that time the State liked to do that a lot with Kelvin Love coming in motion. That time they did it with Robinson coming in motion. That's a timing pattern. It takes a lot of time to develop.
It really is, and you know those guys have experience when you got Robinson and McCullough working together when you can run that play, because they have been on this field. They've been in this position and led the team as we talked about last year.
2nd down and 15 is McCullough will have his team in motion from that point. Will roll to the left. He's got his receiver open in the flats. It's complete.
Nice cutback.
Over midfield, over the 48-yard line. Good job. Another flag comes in here right here again late, as the officials drop it again right around the 30-yard line. And Paul, on the reception, I believe, for Houston, and I'm sorry I didn't call the young man's name. I believe it was Chris Brand. We'll have to wait and see. This may be a post-foul play. We'll have to wait and see. may still be a first down for the Toppers. We'll just have to wait and see from what the officials call. And we'll sort this one out as we got all kind of meetings of the minds there on the right around midfield or right where the ball has been spotted. And now the officials talking this one over, and we still have no indication. Bill, looked like they came real late, so we really don't know. Maybe a possession, not post possession play, but at the maybe a dead ball foul. We'll have to wait and sort this one out.
While we're doing that, Patrick, I'll go over the rest of the top 20. Patrick Shannon is number 13, a future opponent, also in the same division with the Toppers. They're at number 13, Pascagoula 14, Greene County 15, Lawrence County 16. A lot of good football teams, Patrick, in that area of Brookhaven this time. Looks like George County is 17, tied with Starkville also at 17. Gaucher, Patrick, after losing Ray Bivens and Hargrove, seem to still be pretty good there at number 19. Laurel is number 20 and also receiving votes out of this area, Patrick. Horn Lake, Lafayette County guys this time had an opportunity to receive some votes, and this one is kind of puzzling to me because Ripley's playing them tonight and they haven't been very good for a long time. South Haven received votes, and guys, I know they're a 5A school, but they're not really that good.
Well, some size may have been the reason for him getting it. Now we're going to sort this one out. Bill, are you able to ascertain what happened?
Man, I'm just watching the huddle by the officials here. I'm just seeing what comes out. Maybe we're going to have something here.
Well, now they're meeting with the West Point coaches, is trying to give him a definition of what happened or an explanation. And now he's pointing over here to the field to what he thinks happened. And why they still do that, we'll continue to ramble on. And now the Hilltoppers are moving up to the line of scrimmage, and the officials move them back.
Wow.
So we have still not yet to figure out what's going on here, as they have, of course, there was penalty flags thrown.
Guys, real quick, Grisani Rebel Motors in Oxford, your GM dealer, proud to be a part of the game here tonight. Grisani Rebel Motors on West Jackson. Be sure to go by and tell them we sent you by from TV7. Grisani Rebel Motors, your GM dealer, 2001 model Chevys, cars, Suburbans, and more, all in at Grisani Rebel Motors. And also Hunters Hollow in Oxford. Dunny Guest and staff, proud to be a part of the game right here tonight. Hunters Hollow, your full hunting supply center, complete hunting supply store, and a huge store there just behind the Chevron station on West Jackson. Hunters Hollow in Oxford, proud to be a part of the Houston Hilltoppers here tonight. And we appreciate, as we said, all of our fine sponsors for bringing you the action here on TV7. Patrick, they might have got this straightened out.
Well, they picked up the flag. It looked like the official waved it off.
Maybe that was a heat timeout, Jen. A secretive heat timeout.
The officials, I believe, called one for themselves.
Right.
But, as now the Hilltoppers have it 1st and 10 from their own, from the 48. Now it looks like, oh, goodness, and now you've got a little bit of action here in the backfield. Looks like that probably offsides against West Point is going to be called here. More than likely, Paul, it's like the defensive tackle might have been a little bit quick in the neutral zone.
Marcus Rowe, Patrick, 6'5", 290-pound sophomore. I tell you what, I don't know what kind of upside this kid has, but he definitely has the size. 6'5", 290, was in the neutral zone just a little bit earlier. You look at this West Point team, Bill and Pat, and you can look at them. They have athletic-looking young men on the football field.
Absolutely. We mentioned that during a break during the first half, that they have the propensity to make a big play. They got some skilled players like they can make plays, and they've shown the ability to do so, but thus far no points on the board.
Bill, if you can get 75, look at that in the West Point huddle. Look how big he is. He is a sophomore, and that kid is absolutely used. He's a defensive tackle. Would be on the left side and right on the nose.
Actually, the right side.
He is on the right side. Excuse me, you're right. He is huge on the right side.
He looks like one of those guys Joe Lee Dunn might come after in a couple of years.
As Robinson will go in motion, toss sweep to the right is Harrell, and Harrell gets the corner, but going to be ran out of bounds. We're actually going to be tackled right along the 40. We got another penalty flag. What else is new? We've seen them all night tonight.
Wow.
A number of them called here in this football game. And we'll have to wait and see and sort this one out and see what this one is called. And we'll have another meeting of the minds right along the 40-yard line.
There is. I think it's going to be a legal procedure against Houston, and that's what the call is, Patrick. The town I live in, Patrick, Boonville, Mississippi, is the #1 team in the small school poll. Ackerman, #2. Philadelphia, #3. Pilla Academy out of Greenville, if I'm not mistaken, is #4. Bay Springs, 5. Durant, 6. Jackson Prep is number 7, Scott Central 8, Noxapater 9, and Ware number 10. Vardaman did receive votes, if I'm not mistaken, along with Smithville in a small school Little 10 poll.
First down and 15 yards to go for the Hilltoppers as it's marked back to the 47-yard line, and we'll put it in play again at that point.
And Paul, when's the last time you did not see Bruce or Calhoun City won in that poll? It's been quite a while, and I remember it.
Good point. Both of those clubs have been a fixture in that poll, and both of them are right now not a member of it. As coming in now, we've got penalty flags again, and I have no idea what this one is unless we had two guys in motion at the same time. But I don't know if the officials are maybe a little bit confused. We'll have to wait and see. Somebody may have been a little premature.
I mentioned that earlier. I think the offense that Houston runs somewhat is a little bit, well, I don't know if these guys are really prepared for what's happened tonight, but either that or they really like a lot of airtime. And, of course, I'm sure both schools were making a slew of mistakes as well.
I'm sure Coach Funk will bring us up to date on it, guys, in the post-game show.
Well, there have been a lot of movement penalties. A lot of guys have moved prematurely, but I wasn't quite sure to see what happened on that one. Now, I'm sure that somebody did move prematurely. The officials usually do get it right, but that
Usually.
That will bring,
not always.
That brings to an end after some penalty flags, the third quarter of play, which was a good one. Bruce, now I'm calling him Bruce again. Houston was able to tack another one on the scoreboard. They lead 21-0.
I know what game I should have sent you to tonight.
21-0 after 3 complete quarters of play.
We're going to take a break and be back right here from West Point. You stay with us.
Bring in the fourth quarter of play. McCullough rolling to his right, gets rid of it. Good job. And
it's an
looked like he was hit a little bit early. Looked like Caleb Chandler looked like as he was rolling to his left, and unfortunately, nothing called from the officials. Paul, I thought he might have got hit a little bit early before the football got there, and McCullough looked to be a little shaken up back there. Looks like he's walking under his own power. Hopefully, a good sign as could ill afford to lose that young man.
No question, Chandler got hit early. The ball may have been uncatchable. It didn't look like it was going to be an opportunity for him really probably to catch the football, but still, it did. You're right, Patrick. It looked like there was early contact on the play.
Second down and 15 yards to go as the Hilltoppers will have it right still along midfield, actually right along their own 48-yard line, as Gann will be the near side receiver to the right, as they'll have Brand, and now the officials again blow the flag again. And I think the majority of these have been too much time. A lot of them that have been called tonight. And I don't know if that's been quick with the trigger from the officials on starting that play clock, or if there's been some miscommunication between maybe the line of scrimmage from the quarterback to the officials. They're not on the same page, but that's been called a number of times tonight.
I'd like to know how many 5-yard penalty flags have been thrown in this football game. There have been a ton. I mean, an absolute ton.
And it will bring up second down and 20. Now the 43-yard line of Houston. As now Brand is the slot to the right. He's going to get it on the carry, and Gillard will take him down right along the 37-yard line and wrestles him to the earth at that point. And we'll call it a loss of a couple of yards.
I'm sorry, Pat. That was the road kid that we were talking about that we zeroed in on a couple of minutes ago. Man, he looked impressive then. I mean, he just dumped him down to the earth. But that kid is absolutely huge for a sophomore. Being 6'5" and weighing 290 pounds, guys, I think that somebody needs to talk to some recruiters, because I think West Point has something right there.
I'm sure that they know about him already. I mean, these kids, they know about these kids so quick now. I'm sure someone would know about
When they get out of diapers, they know about them.
And Griffith will be the near side receiver, and again, the penalty flags fly, and this one will be a lengthy football game because the officials have called a lot of flags. They've dropped a lot of handkerchiefs today in this one.
Well, there's been a lot of hankies that have been thrown on this green turf here of the Green Wave. So, quite frankly, yeah, we're going to be here probably at about midnight. But still, driving to Boonville, it won't be too long when we get home tonight, Pat. But Bill said he's going to be in Boonville tomorrow morning, so I guess I won't have an opportunity to see him. I would cook breakfast for him or something, but I think I'll pass.
Well, I'm going to bed about breakfast, so short night's rest.
Third down and 20 for the Toppers from the 43 as McCullough rolls to his right. Look upfield, and the pass intended for Brand. It's going to be behind him just a bit, incomplete. Will bring up fourth down and 10, and fourth down and 20, and the Hilltoppers will be forced to punt the football away.
Well, you're right, Patrick. And, West Point defensively, Patrick, they gave up the score in the first drive of the game. They have the one drive here in the second half. And, defensively they've bent, but like we said, they really haven't broken. They've been pretty solid. I mean, they haven't been bad defensively.
T.C. Harris will stand right along his own 30-yard line, or right along the West Point 30-yard line. Now the Hilltoppers trying to get some players substituted. And Bill, if you can, since we got a break in the action, why don't you run down these list of sponsors for us?
Let's mention Susan Springer, Springer Homes of Woodland, Houston, Pontotoc, and now Starkville. Springer Discount Homes, selling many homes because she saves you money. Go by and see Susan Springer and the staff, headquartered in Woodland. Proud to be a part of the Houston Hilltoppers here tonight. Springer Discount Homes, a proud sponsor each year on TV7. Also, Kirkham Denny and staff at Grocer's Pride for the freshest cut meats, the cleanest store. Go to Grocer's Pride. Home owned and operated, serving the Houston community for many years. And for the holidays, he'll be fixing up the marinated steaks, the shish kebab trays, and the veggie trays, fruit trays. Kirkham's got it all. And if you hadn't had one of his marinated steaks, be sure and order a marinated steak. Go by and get yours. I tell you, it's the best there is. Grocer's Pride, proud to be a part of the Houston Hilltoppers right here. And look forward, maybe we can feed these guys those steaks, Patrick, at the end of the year.
I'd like to have one right now.
I did a good ad. Huh?
Man, I tell you made me hungry.
You sold me. It's a good job right there at getting the football away, and a fair catch is going to be received for Harris. Good punt right there of getting some good hang time, Paul. That one spiraled over and got some distance from the punter there, John Horn. And it will be 1st and 10 for the Green Wave from right along their own 27-yard line, as they'll have it with 10 minutes and 36 seconds remaining here in the football game. Houston 21, West Point nothing. Once again, I'd like to apologize to the Hilltopper fans for calling them the Trojans once again. Hopefully they'll forgive me. As Walker will give it to his fullback for a rare carry, and on the carry for the Toppers, looked like it was Mikos Coggins. Mikos Coggins, and Coggins finding some good running yardage over the 20, over the 33, up to about the 34-yard line. A gain of 7 will bring up 2nd down, and we'll call it 3 yards to go, as this Hilltopper defense would like to preserve that shutout that they have continued to hold on here in the throughout the football game.
And Marcus Rowe, Patrick, I keep thinking about how good-looking this young man looks, this athlete from West Point, but he may be the guy that might get go, but bad pitch.
Well, it's all sweep to the right, and a good catch from the running back right there, James Shelton, just able to pull that one down and preserve disaster. I believe Caleb Chandler was there to spill him about the point where he hung on to the football. And it will be 3rd down, and we'll call it 6 from right along the 30-yard line. The line to make would be the 36-yard line, as the Hilltoppers facing a possession play.
What I was going to say, Patrick, who knows, he may be the thunder and lightning that West Point has been looking for, alluding, of course, to Sean Sykes and Robert Smith, who were back here in the 80s.
Walker drops straight back and throws the football up the field. It's going to be intended for his receiver, Harris. Excellent coverage on the play from Chris Brand, who had good position on the football, and that one was thrown in the middle of the field, incomplete. We'll bring up 4th down, and the Hilltoppers have apparently held again. Paul, is it 3rd? I'm not sure. We'll have to sort this one out. I thought
that's 4th down. This will bring up a punting situation. I mean, they may go for it. They're leaving the quarterback in the game. But real quickly,
I think he's also punting.
They're punting the football. But we talked about Coach Horton from Walnut tragically dying last night on the sidelines. Patrick, there's been a couple other tragedies in Mississippi high school football. The young kid from Hamilton that tragically had the incident before the season started, and saw some real heartwarming things that were said about him in the paper earlier this week. And the kid from Boca Chica, Patrick, we'll cover that. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. That's got to be gut-wrenching to that community there as well.
Walker gets the punt away, and it hits inside the 40 down to the 38. Now he got flags again, as we'll sort this one out. Had a little bit of an altercation there at midfield, and we'll have to sort it out. Somebody looked like they might have got to maybe hit a little bit high, but we'll just have to wait and see what they sort this one out. Paul, you go ahead there. You're exactly right. Some tragedy across the Mississippi.
We've seen it here in Mississippi this time here early in the football season, Bill, with, of course, a young kid at Hamilton. And of course, in Bogachido, I guess a lot of people have heard about the two football players and the young lady, the cheerleader that were killed in accidents. Apparently, that were less than a mile apart and less than probably 20 minutes apart after they were coming home from church a couple weeks ago on a Wednesday night before the season started. It just lets us all know that we love this game, but reality lets us know that. We're human beings and tragedy is always around us, but we always have to depend on someone else for other things.
You're exactly right, and as you're talking about that, Paul, our prayers definitely go out to those families, because such a tragedy when you lose a young life, or at any point in stage. But I tell you, such a tragic start to some of the teams this year, but it will hopefully pull the community closer together and bring the schools and the community a little closer together. But definitely we will have them in our thoughts here at TV7.
Indeed, and it's first down and 10 for the Hilltoppers at the Green Wave 47-yard line. And talking about Green Wave, I guess I'll see them again tomorrow when Tulane travels into Oxford.
Hey, we haven't done any picks, guys. What do we think about it? I guess tomorrow morning the Ole Miss is going to kick off at around brunch time. It'll be right between lunch and right between breakfast. And, I think, of course, I know the spread's high, but, Bill, we talked about it coming up here. I think the Rebels are going to win, and I don't think they're going to win by as many points as the prognosticators think they will, by 21 points, but I think they'll win the football game.
I think the Deuce will get loose, and they will win that ball game.
McCullough will give again. It's going to be on the carry. It looked like for the Hilltoppers was Marco Robinson, and Robinson finds some 4 or 5 yards on the play. We'll pick up 5. We'll bring up second down and 5 yards to go.
Guys, how about the Golden Eagles tomorrow? I was listening to the Leonard's Losers pick. If there's ever an upset in the works, it could possibly be in Knoxville, Tennessee. But don't count the Big Orange out in the tradition of football there. I think Tennessee will win it, but I think they're going to have to struggle to win that game.
I think you're right, and I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised that the Golden Eagles might pull off an upset. I want you to think about something, guys, how far Mississippi high school football, but particularly the colleges, have come. You think about it, tomorrow morning, Ole Miss will kick off in the morning. State will kick off at 2 o'clock, and Southern will kick off later on in the evening. All 3 games will be televised. When would you ever think that all 3 schools would have an opportunity to play a TV game all on the same day?
You're exactly right. All 3 went to a bowl game a year ago as well, and they all Ole Miss and, of course, Southern both played on New Year's Eve, and State played the day before. So a lot of parallels among the programs right now. Of course, the State people can boast of a couple of wins over Ole Miss in back-to-back seasons, but a pretty good job right now being done by all 3 programs.
Well, they're keeping the players at home. There's so many good football players in Mississippi, and finally they're keeping some of these kids at home. And, it's just proving the fact that the players will stay here in Mississippi. The colleges here can win.
If you'll win, that changes all that.
And you're exactly right. Looks like that McCullough will have his team in play at that point. Will throw the pass, dragging across the middle, I believe, for the Toppers, intended for Holman. Passes maybe a little bit overthrown, a little bit out of his outstretched arms, and incomplete. Will bring up 4th and 7. And you have to think Paul Houston may again go for it right here, as they have it at the Green Wave 45. Looks like that they may make some changes and probably punt the football.
I think they will. Back to the D1 schools here in Mississippi. You're right, Patrick. You make a good point. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, now with TV the way it is, they're all on TV almost every weekend. And you're right, they are. Almost every school, but still they have all made really, really great strides in their programs.
And the punt will bound inside the 20 and will roll out of bounds, actually, as the official continues to walk upfield right along the 22-yard line. As, again, a good job of punting the football away for the Hilltoppers, John Horn. And we'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Green Wave with just over 7 minutes remaining here in the football game, with Houston leading 21-0 over the West Point Green Wave.
Guys, let's get a couple of more of these in. Bargain Warehouse on Kyle Street across from Walmart in Houston. Go by and see all the staff at Bargain Warehouse for all of your electronics and appliances and furniture. They got it all at Bargain Warehouse just across from Walmart in Houston. Tell them we sent you by.
And looks like they have a little bit of a busted play right there, as Walker is going to be upended in the backfield and dropped for a couple of yard loss. And Paul, I think that one was doomed from the start. May have been an option play or may have been busted. Couldn't quite tell, but good job, lateral pursuit defensively across the forward wall for the Houston Hilltoppers.
Before we get to the state game, Pat, you didn't tell us what's your pick on the Rebs tomorrow.
Oh, I think they win. I don't think they cover that spread either, but I think they win the football game.
And, guys, I'm a little bit scared, a little bit antsy, a little bit nervous. I'll be driving to Memphis early in the morning. I'm always nervous about this game. I used to live in that area. Bill, what's your take on the Dogs and the not Tiger High, but we'll call them Memphis?
I'll give you that after this play.
Walker will throw the little pass across the middle of the field, and again, Caleb Chandler got a piece of it and knocked it down as he was running step for step. They ran that play with some efficiency with Shelton Paul as he drove across the middle. This time, Caleb Chandler diagnosed it and did a good job of knocking it down.
And really, Mississippi State, of course, me being a State fan, we've won that. We've had that series for 7 years in a row now. We've won it. But, you know, it's been very, very close every time. And I read where it was like 14 points in the last several games. So it's a tremendously competitive ball game. I look for State to pull it off, and, of course, hope they can. But, Paul, I think it'll be a very good ball game, very hot game. It'll be a close one.
Walker looking upfield, throws it intended for his receiver, which was T.C. Harris, and he's upended as he was kind of hung out to dry by his quarterback Walker right there, as up there to make the stop. And the young man whose name we called all night long, Chris Brand, on the coverage. That young man's going to be pretty tired, but he's earned himself
played a good
football game there at that cornerback spot.
He sure has. But anyway, back. I think the Bulldogs will pull out a win. I think it's going to be very tough. It's going to be hot. It's going to be tightly contested. But, last year, Bill, we talked about, I covered the Memphis game, actually the Houston game last year before we played Vandy. I'm covering Houston tonight before we play Memphis. Maybe it'll be the same type of scenario today, what happens tomorrow.
Walker's punt is fair caught. Looked like that for the Hilltoppers, Chris Brand. And I think a penalty flag flew in again. I'm not quite
That's surprising
sure they
to
gave. Well, now they wave it off. They wave it off. I don't think that the defender actually gave him enough room to catch the football, or may have got a little close, but the official waves it off, and it will be 1st and 10 from right along the 42-yard line, or the Houston or West Point 42-yard line. Of course, this Hilltopper offense would like to put some more points on the board.
I think we got the heat break, Bill. Why don't you go over some more of our sponsors if you have a couple minutes before you do so.
Well, real quick, we didn't get Patrick's pick on the ball game tomorrow in Memphis, so we're going to have to see what he has to say about the Memphis-Mississippi State game.
Well, I think that Memphis will play with a lot of emotion, and would I be surprised if Memphis won the football game? Not really. I think that, but I've seen Memphis come into big games like this, and they overload maybe a little bit of the little trash talking of their mouth before the prior to the game, and I think that may be a possibility tomorrow. And I look for State to beat them. I think that they'll beat them in a close game, but I think that Memphis has done this in the past. They have put themselves in positions in big games, but they never really play. They play close in big games, but they never pull them off. I think they will be that way again tomorrow.
But they got to be due sooner or later. I just hope it doesn't happen tomorrow. Bill, what you have?
Absolutely. Chickasaw Equipment Company, your Polaris dealer in Houston, proud to be a part of the game here. Go by and see Frank and all the staff at Chickasaw Equipment Company. Tell them we sent you by, and we appreciate their support of Houston Hilltopper football. Your Polaris dealer. Go by and get you a new one or a used one today at Chickasaw Equipment Company, just off Highway 15 North in Houston.
As McCullough will give it to Griffin, and this time not much doing as he might get back to the line of scrimmage. Actually probably lost. I guess he probably lost a yard or two on the play, as coming up to make the play defensively for West Point was Navis Wells, a 5'7", 250-pound defensive tackle, a senior.
Before we get on USM Tennessee, I want to say real quickly, Patrick, of course, I was at the game, so I'll say that Northeast last night broke like a 17-game losing streak in junior college football.
Wow.
And beat Jones 21-6. Actually looked pretty good in doing so.
Good.
And Etowah really got hammered last night.
Harrell's going to carry the football or the 40 inside the 37. The ball popped loose, but I think after he hit the ground, and of course the ground cannot cause a fumble, and we'll bring up 3rd down. And we'll call it some 4 yards to go for the 1st down. We have just a shade over 5 minutes remaining in the contest. And guys, this was beginning to drag out a little bit.
It really is.
USM Tennessee, what do you think, Bill? I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Southern Mississippi doesn't go in there. I know they'll play well. I mean, they play well wherever they go. I've just got a feeling they may have a trick or two up their sleeves for the Volunteers.
Indeed, is McCullough
got him open.
Upfield. He's got his receiver open inside the 10, down to the 9 as Holman catches his 2nd big pass here in the game. Of course, he's caught the initial touchdown on the first touchdown score, and now he receives another one. Big play there, Bill.
Very big play, and Houston's not done yet, guys. They want a little bit more here before they leave tonight. After a shutout last week, they're looking for their second shutout in a row here. And, of course, we will have the post-game show with Coach Funk. But to come in real quick, Southern Miss will come in and give Tennessee a lot. Don't know if it'll be enough in front of 110,000 Big Orange, but I'm still going to go with Tennessee, guys. I'm not picking the upset.
I will, too.
But I do think it'll be a good ball game. Southern Miss is somebody you don't play around with.
McCullough will have Griffin in the backfield behind him, and Griffin will get the carries over the 5, and he's going to plunge in for the touchdown as he scores from 9 yards out, and they put the exclamation mark on this one.
Well, good job again, Griffin, Patrick. Running the football has just been tremendous. I tell you what, if you hit that young kid, there's no way you're going to bring him down initial contact.
Yeah. Indeed, as that's going to put them ahead 27-0 with a shade over 4 minutes remaining here in the football game.
And, guys, I guess we got to start thinking about a player of the game. Is it going to be a no-brainer?
Well, we just have to talk this one out, guys. There's been some guys that have really played well in this one for Houston. So we'll have to talk about this one during the break.
I think we'll have to talk to probably 3 or 4 of them after the game is over with, because there's really not one or two that – I think if you really have to say one player, it has to be Chandler, Patrick, because he probably was the one that turned the ball game around.
Indeed, the extra point by Horn is up and good. And, guys, as well, I'll pick Tennessee to beat Southern Miss in a close one.
Hey, big game tomorrow. Bill, I tell you what, I'd like to hear your comments on this one. Alabama, UCLA tomorrow. They're playing in Los Angeles. Could be a battle.
Yeah, definitely. You got to give UCLA a little credit. Going to be at home. Otherwise, I'd go all the way Tide, and I'm probably still going to pick the Tide. They're loaded for game this year, guys, and look out in the West. They're the team to beat. But what respect State and Ole Miss getting picked after the Tide. So Alabama's going to be the one everybody's looking to beat. So I'm going to go with the Tide in that's going to be a very good ball game.
I agree. I think Alabama goes over there and wins. UCLA, though, they're an improved football team. They had a bad year a year ago, but they got one of the best running backs in the country. And also, you know, I think that they're pretty good defensively from what I understand. I think that Alabama have a battle.
Somebody else will get back on the W column tomorrow, and that's Lou Holtz in South Carolina. They will win the ball game. Mark it down.
Well, they're playing slippery rock. They ought to. No,
yeah, right.
But no, seriously. I'll agree with you. I think South Carolina, you know, they can't go anywhere but up. I mean, you know, but and I'm not going to say much because we play them in a couple of weeks, and I'll be scared to death when we play them. So
they always play State very tough.
Edwards and Shelton will stand right along their 5-yard line as the football is kicked forward. We got that sky kick, and it looks like it's going to be the up man at his 20 up to the 25, and he's going to be met right there at that spot as on the return looked like it was Jonathan Moore. And good special teams coverage. Got a young man from West Point. Looks like he's down, but able to get up and walk off under his own power. The young man, the linebacker, Keith Ford, on special teams. Injured, we called his name quite a bit defensively for West Point.
Good football player. Has a knack of finding the football, Patrick. You're right. We've called his name a lot. But, you know, 1 through 6, Patrick, in the West. Number 1 with Alabama being clear-cut probably above everybody else. But 2 through 6, I think you can throw them all in a hat. I think there's a possibility any of those could finish anywhere from 2 through 6.
We have a quarterback change for West Point as they have an eye in the backfield as the new guy calling the signals. Calling his own signal was David Weber. Weber was a 6', 150-pound sophomore and carries it the football himself and picks up 4 on the play. We'll bring up 2nd down and 6 as we're under 4 minutes remaining here in the football game.
I would say he's probably the quarterback of the future, I'm sure. So he's just a sophomore. They put him in. They want to probably get a few snaps for the young man against quality opposition. Houston, of course, I'm sure trying to get some young people in right now. I notice Coach Funk has some new people in the football game getting some action or seeing some action. Looks like R.J. Patterson is in the football game, a sophomore, a cornerback, along with some other young men, seeing their first action pad.
Weber's going to give it to his fullback, and coming up to make the stop defensively, it looked like it was Jerome Lyons who made the tackle defensively for Houston.
And guys, got some big battles next week. Bruce at Water Valley, that's turned into a big rivalry, and also, as we said, Grenada will be traveling to Houston, and y'all going to have to help me out on Pontotoc next week.
South Pontotoc.
South, okay. Got some big battles coming up here.
Well, it won't be much of a battle, I don't think, but it is probably a big rivalry.
Big rivalry for sure.
Near side receiver for West Point is T.C. Harris as Weber has an eye in the backfield behind him as as Shelton comes in motion, gives to this tailback, big hole, still on his feet, over midfield stripe is running hard for the West Point Green Wave is Mikos Coggins. Coggins with West Point's deepest penetration here in the second half as they get into Houston territory for the first time along the 41. And Paul, unfortunately, the clock stopped.
Well,
ran out of bounds.
hey, you're right, it did. Something you notice over there, Patrick, far across the way. This game is well in hand, has been for a while. This kid breaks a big run. Coach Funk is really up in a hurry. He's still coaching out there. He's got young kids he wants to see to learn. And not only that, he doesn't want to see points put on the scoreboard. We want to keep this shutout, preserve it, keep our second straight shutout.
Weber is going to give it to John, actually keep it himself. He's over the 30, and he runs inside the 25 to the 22. Well, you want young guys to go out there and compete. And unfortunately, these young guys, they'll hear us maybe talk about it. If you want to stay on the field, you got to go out there and compete when you get your number called.
Absolutely.
McManus, Patrick, a lot of young folks in the football game right now for the Hilltoppers. Bradley Allen in the lineup right now as well as Chris Walker. A lot of young folks in the football game right now. Coach Funk has got some really young folks that are getting an opportunity to play. Looks like also in the football game in another corner is Sean Ivey. So a lot of young folks getting a lot of action.
Shelton coming in motion from left to right as he's going to give it to Coggins, who's going to run over the 20 and be tackled right along the 18-yard line. Be interesting to get in there and hear that scoreboard. Hear how some teams did tonight. Interested to see how that Bruce County City game turned out, Bill, that we haven't heard an update on. And
right.
A couple of others like to hear an update on that Pontotoc Oxford game, see what happened. Be interesting to get in that car and hear some of these scores.
Tupelo Louisville, I'm interested in that score. I'd like to see what happens in that football game.
How about Lafayette and Grenada?
Lafayette Grenada.
Some great matchups tonight.
If South Haven's as good as they say they are, South Haven and Ripley.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
Shelton will go in motion as Weber called his own signal. Now he's going to keep it himself and
he's
throws
past
it
the line
over
of
the
scrimmage.
field. And it's going to be, no, I think he didn't pass it. And he had his receiver Shelton open, but it goes in and out of his hands, incomplete. As it'll be 3rd down and 6, as the line of scrimmage was the 19, and he did pull up and throw it around the 20.
Okay.
So it will be 3rd down and 6. The young man could have definitely ran probably for the first down, but he tried to get it upfield a little farther and probably made a good decision. The ball was a catchable ball. Shelton just unable to hang on to him.
Patrick, what is this, the 5th quarter? Seemed like 5 quarters to you?
Oh, guys, and we have a timeout on the field
Oh,
as well.
no.
And we're just going to, guys, let's take it with them. We'll return after these messages. 3rd down and 6 as Weber will run the option play to Shelton. He gets the corner. He's inside the 10, inside the 5, and a touchdown as West Point's going to dot the scoreboard. With a minute remaining here in the football game, there goes your shutout. And unfortunately for the for the Hilltoppers, but needless to say, a little bit frustrating to lose your shutout, but good job on the option from Weber right there to the pitch to Shelton.
It was a very good job, but you still got to get your young kids out there, Patrick, as we talk, let them play. This is where they learn an actual game experience and go on and forsake the shutout and get some playing time.
Indeed, and that makes the score 28-6. And, of course, now it looks like that we have probably a penalty flag thrown, so we'll have to wait and see.
You're kidding.
Maybe. You think. Indeed, it looks like the points will stand.
They're throwing footballs up in the stands, guys. I think I'm going to dive out there and catch one, but I'm afraid I might hurt myself.
We'd hate to see that.
I'd hate to see it, too.
Well, guys, does the point stand? I mean, where they're walking that from, I can't figure out what they're doing. Unless there was some kind of celebration or something that. But anyway, we're not surprised, as you said a few moments ago, that the penalty flag didn't. Actually, guys, it's
Going
3rd down.
3rd down.
It's 3rd down, so those points come off the board.
Wow.
And and the shutout is still intact.
Well, they got the point still on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Weber runs the out. Now
Look,
they run a little reverse again.
This has got to be some kind of.
May not work. Your Shelton's trying to get some running room. And might get back to the 30. And guys, now Houston is. West Point's now leading 78
to 28. What a change.
56 to 28 now, guys. They've taken the points off the board finally.
Oh, me.
Well, they still have the shutout then, guys. They preserved the shutout. I tell you what, that was the officials came and rescued us because that time they preserved our our shutout for us.
Well, this could be the last play of the game.
Lord, I hope it is.
Let's hope so.
Weber drops straight back and throws a little jump pass, which is complete. Still running on his feet is
he's going to score.
Going to get the corner, and the score is T.C. Harris on about I guess.
Where's the flag? Where's the flag?
Do you see it? Do you see it?
27-yard pass play.
Wow.
And West Point has got on the board again.
No flag.
7 seconds remaining. 7.9 seconds to be exact.
The cheerleaders are getting some more balls to throw out. They're throwing them back at them.
It's to keep them.
I think we're at Wrigley Field all of a sudden.
But anyway, to attempt the extra point will be Keith, who actually is up. It's on its way, and the kick is good. Houston 28, West Point 7.
Take the onside kick it.
Guys, we're just going to leave it here. Hopefully we'll get one kick here and a snap, and we'll be done. As this one is drug out for quite a while. Again, guys, not to downplay, this is a very fine Houston football team. We're very impressed with them. Tell you what, I think we'll get an opportunity to see these guys playing well into November, Paul.
I think you're right, Patrick. Of course, we had a little bit of fun right there with the West Point cheerleaders and throwing the football back in the stands and the scoreboard, but quite frankly, we have been very, very impressed. Me and you both don't have an opportunity to see this football team play very often, and of course I know they've made strides over the last couple seasons, and there's no question they're a football program that has an opportunity to compete at a very, very high level in Class 3A.
Well, the stands are beginning to empty. Everybody's getting to kind of get ready to walk out but us, but as we still have some 7.9 seconds. Paul, I know you got some interviews you want to conduct on the field. We still haven't decided on a player of the game. And Paul, you had, before you run off, I think we got to give it to Caleb Chandler. Even though there's some big-time plays by Mr. Griffin from that fullback spot, guys, I mean, the play of the game, and the game was turned on the interception return.
It definitely was. That was a huge play and a big game, a big momentum swing, and it seemed like Houston never lost the momentum from that, Patrick, and went on. And you know, as we said, West Point played some very good defense here tonight, but they could not keep anything consistent offensively against a very good Houston defense also. And just Houston the better team here tonight, loaded with talent, and we look for some big things throughout the season. And they came here tonight expecting to win, and they did. They pulled it off and got the road victory.
Good, solid football team, and of course, West Point played well. I thought that they played well throughout the first half. I think that you said the interception return just really broke their back. And also, I think that Houston, to be quite honest, in the first half had opportunities to score more points. Some penalties and some mistakes kind of kept it, kind of hindered them from maybe doing that. As the onside kick is unsuccessful, and the Houston Hilltoppers, well, for all intents and purposes, had to snap this thing one more time, and this one will be in the books.
Let's mention real quick A&A Electrical Supply, Home Discount Lumber Supply in Houston, Quick Cash in Houston, Dixieland Manufacturing Company, now taking applications, a proud sponsor here tonight at Dixieland. Chickasaw Equipment Company, your Polaris dealer. Bargain Warehouse, Grocer's Pride on Highway 8, Springer Discount Homes in Woodland, also Houston and Pontotoc and Starkville, Hunters Hollow in Oxford, Grisani Rebel Motors, your GM Chevy dealer for Oxford, and also the surrounding areas, Union Planters Bank on the Square, Griffin Motor Company, your Ford and Dodge dealer in Houston, Mr. Raymond Griffin and staff, Pyland Wholesale Furniture, a proud sponsor here, Pyland Furniture between Vardaman and Houston, Classic Exteriors Vinyl Siding, Gene King, give him a call today, King's Tire, Reggie Callahan, owner, and as we said, Custom Auto Accessories, Carl Rogers. All fine sponsors here tonight for Houston Hilltoppers.
James Sims will give it to his tail, actually to the fullback on the final play. Looked like Michael Fitzpatrick. Mr. Fitzpatrick like to busted it, Bill, and good job of running with the football. And will bring to an end this football game as Houston scored on its initial possession of the football game, jumped out to a 6-0 lead. We pretty much had a stalemate the remainder of the half. Of course, the interception return along with the 2-point conversion following made it 14-0 at the half. And, of course, Houston scoring on its initial possession in the second half, going up 21-0. Of course, added a late touchdown, of course, West Point as well, bringing us to our final margin of Houston 28, West Point 7. Impressive win for the Hilltoppers over a Class 4A Houston West Point program. and they move their seasonal mark to 2 wins against no losses.
Yeah, credit Coach Rusty Funk and his staff. As we said, this is a well-coached team, and you got talent to go with it. And that combination, Patrick, is dangerous. And they showed it here tonight. And I believe they're going to be right back where they were last year. But hopefully, let's get in that postseason. And what a great ball game tonight! Houston really put forth an effort, and some big plays there, as we said. We're going to go down on the field here in just a moment for the post-game show. Talk with Coach Funk and our player of the game.
Absolutely. Once again, as the Hilltoppers win this one 28-7 over the West Point Green Wave. And we're going to take this thing down to the field with player interviews and coaching interviews with Coach Funk and a couple of the players here. The most valuable are some of the players on the field here tonight for the Houston Hilltoppers. Again, Houston 28, West Point 7.
That we did improve. I am not proud of the penalties and things that we had tonight. It's been a joke that I've always talked to them about shooting themselves in the foot, and I think that we aimed at the head a few times tonight.
Well, I'll agree with you, Coach. Of course, I know that's something that you can always correct mental mistakes.
That's definitely. We will work on that, and that will definitely improve. I promise.
I don't know how many 5-yard penalties we have, but there were a few, particularly in the second quarter.
Exactly.
I thought the biggest play of the football game, it was a big swing at the time, probably a 14-point swing. It was right at the end of the second quarter, right before halftime. Of course, it goes without saying, Caleb with the interception returned it for the touchdown. They were knocking on the door.
Well, that's it. That was a big part of it. We had, offensively, we had been able to move the ball and do a lot of things. We felt like we controlled the ball game, but because of the penalties, it killed us. Our defense is such a large part of what we do because they create opportunities for the offense and they make their own points. And just like with Caleb picking that thing off and running it all the way back, those are things we have to have done, for us to be successful.
I was impressed with with a lot of things that your players did, Coach, and particularly they executed at times when they needed to. Particularly, they seemed to come up with big plays when they had to.
Exactly. We're getting to that point. We had talked like last week. We didn't have any sustained drives, so we were able to sustain some drives tonight, and could have done a better job, if we didn't have the penalties that kept killing us. But we were proud of the fact that our offense is improving, and the defense didn't have to do it all on tonight, thank goodness. But it's still got to get to the point where we're better offensively, where we can really control the ball game, eliminate the mistakes, and take the pressure off of our defense.
I know you want to get to your kids, Coach. I want to ask you one more question, and then I'll let you get to them. I'd be really amiss if I didn't ask you about Grenada next week. I know there are 5A schools coming in, and quite frankly, I think last year, we handed it to them pretty well last year on the road. So.
We did. Last year we went over there and we started out slow and then got back into the ball game. Grenada made some mistakes. We were able to convert on their mistakes and come out with a big victory over there. The thing about Grenada is they have most of their kids coming back. They are huge. We're going to look like munchkins up against them. But the deal is, my munchkin, everybody that we played so far is bigger than us. And that doesn't make any difference. As long as we're fundamentally sound and we do our techniques well and we attack and play aggressive, we'll be a fine football team. I think it'll be a good ball team.
I know they have some good athletes, particularly have a couple of skill position people that are pretty good as well.
They're a fine football team. There's no doubt about it. They're going to contend for their region in 5A this year, and it's going to be a test for our ball club. But the deal is, we have to play up at times and play 5A people like Grenada to test to see where our program is. And as long as we can compete with them, if we win the ball game, that's great. As long as we make a good showing and my kids play hard and they show that they are a football team to contend with, I'm going to be happy.
I feel extremely confident. I know these guys do as well, Coach. I believe this football team right here will show up and play next week.
I don't have a doubt in my mind.
Congratulations to you. Good luck to you next week against Grenada. Maybe
Thanks,
we'll be sub-quarterback for the Houston Hilltoppers. And Mr. McCullough, you had a fantastic game. Your team got a big win, 28-7 over a good West Point team tonight. And you played well offensively, as the coach alluded to earlier. Had a few penalties that stymied a few drives, and of course shot yourself in the foot a little bit with penalty flags. But overall, how do you feel your team did tonight offensively?
We improved a lot. They played us a hard game, physical game, and compared to last week, my offensive line is a lot better. They had a lot of protection. I was able to complete more passes than I did last week, and we just improved on that and fought a hard physical game with them and we got on top.
Well, you know, you had to feel good. The initial possession of the game, you guys take it down the field, you score, you throw the touchdown pass, and get up early 6-0. You drove the football periodically during the first half, but you couldn't really keep it together because of, you know, a few miscues, penalties, mistakes. And of course, the big pick-me-up, of course, was the interception return that just kind of seemed to break West Point's back because at that point in time, it looked like they were poised to maybe go in and score, and we had a ball game. But came back in the second half. You get that third quarter touchdown as well, and of course you throw another pass here before the end of the game to your receiver and get a big play as well. I thought the most, I guess, of all the plays you made all night, the most impressive play was the pass that you stepped up here and got some pressure. You eluded the tackler and threw the ball down the field in a long pass play, but it was called back. We called for stepping across the line of scrimmage, but that's a heck of a throw. Great effort play right there. I know that you had to feel good about the way your receivers caught the football when you delivered it to them.
Oh yeah, they do a great job, and all the penalties and all the personal fouls. You know, that's early in the season. You know, we're getting in the groove, and my receivers did a great job. And I don't know if I was across the line or not. I probably was, but we played hard, and our receivers did a good job for me.
Great effort on the play, nevertheless. Got a big one next week against Grenada, 5A school, and you step up a couple of levels. You guys been a 3A school playing a 5A program. Big battle next week. Don't know exactly how they fared tonight, but I know you're looking forward to it. And we were talking. We don't get to see you guys very often during the year. We were impressed with your level of play. Look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of the year.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Thanks. I'm with Michael Griffith, running back here for the Houston Hilltoppers. Michael, you had a phenomenal game, and I thought you played awfully well from that running back spot. And rewarded at the very end with that touchdown. Of course, I think the play of the game, other than, of course, you got taken away from with Caleb's big play there to give you guys a big lift there in the second quarter, was that run, 35-yard run, 34-yard run that you had there in the second quarter, that you kept your balance and got a nice play. Got to have to feel awfully well about the way you played.
Yeah, I mean, we do those drills all the time. It helps a lot. I was expecting somebody to hit me. I was just waiting for it.
Well, you kept your balance and showed good balance and did a good job keeping your feet. Of course, it had to feel good to get in the end zone there in the third quarter for you, too.
Yeah, it felt good. I mean, I ain't hit a touchdown probably since about 8th grade.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Well, man, congratulations. Big win. Beat a good West Point team, and next week, good luck against Grenada. We're with Chris Brand, cornerback here for the Houston Hilltoppers. Chris, super job tonight. I know you were involved in probably 3 or 4 plays on the left sideline, particularly in the first half. I think you had an INT as well. Yeah. Had a super ball game tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Is that something that you worked on all week long when you the quarterback? Big strong kid from West Point was throwing the ball up top. Is that something you expected?
Yes, sir. I came in. I knew I had to step it up one more notch on the tall 6'4" wide receiver. With me standing short, I just had to step it up one more notch and play my game.
Well, you played very well tonight. The defense played well as a whole. Looking offensively, made some mistakes, had some penalties, correct those. Real quickly, just ask you this question and let you go because I know you want to get with the rest of your team. Next week, a good football team against play a Grenada football team, 5A school. What do you expect from them?
I expect they're going to come in and play pretty hard, but we're going to step it up there tonight and play our game how we play, how the top we play.
I agree with you as well, Chris. Played well tonight. We didn't get a chance to talk to Holman. He did a super job, had a great game as well. Good luck to you next week against Grenada.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we can bring home another big one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Here with Caleb Chandler. Caleb, super job tonight. I think me and Pat and Bill and I think probably everybody in the whole crowd here across the way here probably felt like the INT you had in return for the touchdown probably was what turned this football game around here tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, they had ran the play once before, and I knew they were going to come back with it, and I just had this feeling that they were just going to come at that particular time.
Super job, kind of jumped the route, did a good job of going down the sidelines with the football, finding the end zone. It was 6-0 at the time. We were only up by 6, and extra point with them after a touchdown. They're up 7-6 at halftime. Goes 14-point swing. That was a big play.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It really was. Well, I just enjoy doing what I have to do on defense and just stepping up and really playing.
Caleb, of course, we know a little bit about you. We talked about it, me and you, a couple of minutes ago. I've known you from a good while, good ways back. I hate to hear about your dad. I hope we'll be saying a prayer for him. I hope he is doing better.
Yes, sir.
But next week we go on back home and
and have an opportunity to face the Grenada Chargers, a 5A school, and of course, quite frankly, a team that's picked to make the playoffs. I think they're picked to battle in their division, have an opportunity to make the playoffs. What do you expect from them?
Yes, sir. Well, last year they came in, they had a solid team over there, had a good quarterback, first guy, but he's gone now. And we're just going to go in and do our best and just play hard.
I don't think there's any question. Coach Funk football teams, they're well coached. They play hard, play the whistle.
Yes, sir.
I know he doesn't like these mistakes the guys made on these 5-yard penalties tonight, but I bet that'll change. Probably, I'm sure that's something he'll work on next week.
Yes, we worked on that. We're going to work on that hard, real hard come Monday. That's one thing. We hurt ourselves mostly when we got all those penalties. We had opportunities to score, but we didn't. So we really hurt ourselves.
Caleb, I think you and your teammates as well have on to something, have an opportunity to have a successful campaign, but individually for you, I think we have an opportunity, guys, the guys that are here working with me today to witness a young man that has an opportunity to not only have a successful career here before this season's over with, but to further his career as an opportunity to go to the next level.
Well, yeah, I hope to further my career. I have different colleges looking at me, but I'm really interested in LSU, and I think that's where I would like to attend.
Caleb, good luck to you. Congratulations to you and the guys, and next week, hope we get a big win over the Grenada Chargers.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Back one final